I'm not interested in the view, Aldrich. It's been 3 months. We need to talk. You know, you come by our apartments. You spend time with your son, with our son. But you'll barely even look at me. I want to know what's going on. What am I to you? A nursemaid for your boy?
I wish I knew the answer to that.
I wish I knew the answer to that. My heart tells me that what we had is gone, that what you felt has vanished or been replaced.
It's hard to undo the last 5 years. It's not something I can just switch on and off. 5 years is a long time. A lot has happened. I thought you were dead. And as much as I am so relieved that you are not. I know I've been I've been terrible to you, and I'm not trying to shirk my responsibility of talking to you.
I just want to know. Isolde's lies drove us apart. Her threats to kill our son made me party to them. But if the reality is that she got what she wanted, that she was successful, then I deserve to hear that. Look, and she points down toward the troops. Mordath, Valandor. This is what she wanted. You as lord of both houses, your son as your heir, safe and well. I want to know what you want.
The truth is, I've been distracting myself for these last 3 months with building an army because I haven't wanted to face the decision.
Is it her?
She complicates matters, yes.
A messenger runs up from one of the troops and has to show you a very important missive, which you...
Yes, I am so sorry. It's like having a little imp on my shoulder who just...
My lord, we have discovered Lego in the ruins.
Yes. I'm so sorry.
That's fine. The live-action role-playing duties of being a father in-game.
Anyway.
It seems to me that you're not ready to make a decision. That you want to shirk it a little longer. Because if your heart really wanted what I want, you wouldn't be chewing it over like this, would you? You would know. It's not something you need to wrestle with. Well,
it's I don't wish to hurt either of you.
No, she says, taking a few steps back, and then a couple more. But you're going to. And shoulders slumped, head down, Sather turns and walks away. On one of the balconies on the far side of the courtyard, Valto Cray, the leader of the Kashigirine Tieflings, finds you, Shanta, staring at the two figures talking on the wall on the far side of the courtyard. You are setting yourself up for a great deal of pain, Shanta.
What do you mean?
You know what I mean.
How are you? I hope you're well.
As you wish, we'll not talk about it.
It's not that, I just don't really know what to say. I just need to stay away, I think.
He has an army to lead, doesn't he?
Yeah. I have Squee to feed. We both have our priorities.
That's not all I wanted to talk to you about.
Okay.
Damaresh. You're going back to Damaresh. Is that wise?
I don't know. I've been told many times I'm not very wise, so I just kind of leave the decision making up to others.
The Dragon Emperor. He made you his puppet. And now you go willingly back to his city.
I mean, he doesn't have control over me anymore. I'm sure when he finds out I'm not under his control, he'll be mad, but to all he knows, I'm probably dead. So maybe I'll disguise myself or something.
Well, I would imagine that all of you will need to disguise yourselves. And Tordak recognized you. Damaresh, they'll be actively looking for people from the House of Valendor.
You know, my father was there in the toilet.
Yes.
And he was taken by that lady, but did you know about them being there?
When you and your friends sought the God's Breath pyramid, I tried to warn you about this. The House of Flare steeped itself in demonic lore many, many years ago. When I heard that you had been raised by the Kalian Circle, I thought that might have been a chance to break the cycle. But all that awful business with the eyes of Kalax, well, You and your companions banished an aspect of Amon-Ebor from this world. But he will not have forgotten your name or that of your families. You're going back to the city where you last faced him. You're one of our people, Shanta, and I wanted to just make sure that you know what you're walking into here.
I know. I can't not do anything.
No, you can't.
I mean, if worst case happens out there and he takes revenge, at least it'll make things easier for... And she looks back over at the wall.
Valdo leans forward and places a kiss on your forehead. You're a good girl, Shanta. You deserve better.
Thank you.
Bellis, you're making your final preparations for what you know to be a long journey away from home to the distant capital of the Empire. Calamandra has been in Valandor a few days now, arriving from whatever location she has hidden herself in since her flight from Torlek City, delivering a handful of magically enchanted weapons to your companions. She's been promising to come and see you for a day or two.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be leaving soon.
Where are we?
Presumably in your little magic lead box.
Yes. Just making sure. I believe so.
You've given some thought to the nature of your necessary subterfuge?
What do you mean exactly?
You were recognized within minutes of arriving in Torlek City.
Oh, that's subterfuge. Yes.
Yes, I'm sorry. It's a fair, I must admit, it is a broad category for a Moonwhite.
There's a lot of subterfuge going on. Yes. And all that for Valandor's pet, right?
So it is.
Yes, I have thought about some precautions in that manner. Yes.
What about the end of the road? The Nightingale.
I cannot plan for that. I have no idea what to expect.
An enemy or an ally?
Seat of my pants. This is where, of course, Bellis, while we're talking, has put some spells in the air to make sure that she's talking to who she thinks she's talking.
Oh, she absolutely is.
Okay. Yeah. I have no idea. I'm afraid that will be seat of our pants.
Well, the Nightingale has not exactly been a friend to House Valandor.
Well, neither is it a friend to the dragon. It's only a friend to himself. Or herself.
Yes, or herself.
Or itself.
Oh, indeed.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Considering the fact that he or she or it was willing to peddle out control over the dragon to the demons, I'm sure a deal is there to be made if we want to.
You are perhaps more amenable bedfellows than bastards of the abyss, yes.
Okay. I don't know. We were not approached, were we?
No, as I understand it, the Nightingale sent an agent among you to steal from under your noses the very thing they then sought to trade to the children of Amon Ibor. No, I don't envy you your I don't envy you or your seat of your pants.
No.
If there is any way I can be of assistance to you before your departure, please do let me know.
A way out if things go to shit. For us. I haven't figured that out yet.
Have you seen my Lord Jadarian? I
Uh,
would speak with him before he departs.
okay. I will make sure that he does.
Jadarian...
Make sure you have your conversation in here, though.
One of the house guards finds you a short while later to inform you that Calamandra wishes a word with you in the secure chamber at the chapel.
Okay. I'll leave now.
I will close off my my notations and everything else, and close the desk, and then pointedly look at the people present. Have your talk, and I'll leave them to it.
Okay.
The room.
She looks at you quietly and seriously without speaking for several moments. And you can see that she's not particularly comfortable with the thoughts she's trying to express.
Are you okay?
I struggle against protocol, my lord. You are the heir, and yet I must challenge you.
You have valid reasons to.
This is a mistake, my lord. To journey with, under the banner of Valandor, to Damaresh, quite literally into the dragon's lair.
I believe you are right.
Within a handful of decades, their lives will be over. You have a millennium or more ahead of you. You risk all of that.
I will not let them die alone.
Your will is your will, my lord. I will not gainsay it, but I counsel against this. In Ardminia, there is need of you now.
If we live through this, then that will be my next destination.
Then I pray to the Seldarine that you do. And when the time comes for you to make that journey, if you will it, I will make it with you.
Glad to hear that.
I will take your gladness with me and hope that it staves off some small part of the fear that now lives within my heart. And she leaves you deep in thought, her misgivings hanging in the air.
As she sort of
Long
goes
after
to
she's
walk out the door, I say, Calamandra, I was worried I nearly
lord.
lost you out there in the city.
It sorrows me that I was not there to combat the dragon with you.
You did your part.
I thank you. Avel, you've been having a sneaky carafe of wine, overlooking the mustering below, watching Aldrich and Galric and Sather back and forward on the other side of the courtyard. Shanta mooning. Balto Cray trying to talk to her. Calamandra and Jadarian coming and going in and out of the chapel. All a buzz, all a flutter. Beside you, she sits down and plonks a fresh carafe between the pair of you. Her legs hanging over the edge of the building next to you. Commander Adra. Your health, lad.
Cheers. Fruity.
Aye.
So, no, you first, I insist. Never mind.
Look,
I was... Oh, no, never mind. No, you first. Seriously this time.
You're leaving. And, I don't know whether you're coming back.
No, neither do I. But it has to be done. Someone's got to do it.
Well, we'll be hot on your heels, me and about 10,000 others.
And we are thankful for that, really.
I wanted to talk to you before you go.
About what?
You know what?
Maybe.
Your father and me. It wasn't a serious thing, and it might be hard to picture this, given who he became. But he had something about him when he was a younger man. I was just a sellsword back in those days, selling my blade all throughout the southern lands. And when I found myself with child, he was good enough to offer a place of safety. And I want you to know that I was here. I don't know if you remember the day I gave you the hat.
I do.
But I was here as much as I could be until... Look, a lord of a great house can lay with who he wants to. And there's not much his wife can do about it, in most cases. But Isolde was not most cases.
I understand, but I do wish that maybe you had reached out sooner. It hasn't been easy for me, you know?
No.
Never really knowing where or with whom I belonged.
You belong here. You're Valandor through and through.
And that's something it's taken me a long time to realize. On my own.
You know, she threatened you, you know.
Yeah, that sounds like her.
I don't like talking ill of the dead, but she threatened you.
Nah, she was a bitch. But
you had a home, and I thought I was doing the right thing to keep you safe. And I was wrong. It was wrong of me.
safe I was, but happy? No. I mean, look at me now. I'm twice the size as you are. That's not happy.
I won't say I'm sorry, because it's just words. And if I have enough life left in me to show you, then I will. But I am sorry.
It's fine.
I wanted... She pulls out from under her tunic a folded piece of paper. It looks old and bears the seal, wax seal of Valandor on it. She hands it to you.
What's this?
Before she drove me away, I won a concession from Lord Talric.
Okay, you're gonna have to explain what that word means.
Open it.
Okay. And he does.
No, the wax snaps. It's dry and brittle. It's been closed for a couple of decades from the looks of it. You recognize his handwriting immediately. Talric's scrawled signature at the bottom, the crest of Valandor at the top of the page. There aren't very many words in it. It says, I, Talric, Lord Valandor, fourth of my name, do hereby recognize and legitimize Aval, child of myself and Adra, as my son and my heir. This day, the 14th of the month of Wolves.
Ah. Well, things just got a little more complicated with the Valandor boys.
That's why, to me, you were, and always have been and always will be, Lord Valandor. That's how I called you the other day when we met.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you've always been in here. That's why I could leave. It's the only reason I could leave. And when I realized that he never told you, this might not be the right thing to do. But before you go, I wanted you to have this. To know.
Well, thank you. Truly, I'll need to perhaps speak to my brothers about this, but yeah, thank you.
And she leans over and, really awkwardly places a kiss on your cheek. Be well, son.
Thanks, Mum.
I liked you better in the hat.
Well, it's a good thing I'm wearing it then. And he tips it.
Adra stands and walks away. After evening meals, as was agreed earlier, you meet once more in the securely sealed room in Bellis's chapel to make your plans for your imminent departure for Damaresh.
Saw the email I sent you, huh?
I
Of
will.
the
I'll check
little
them in a second. Yeah.
Discord.
Again, going by Wyvern is the fastest route. Your armies are set to march north toward the city. It will take them some weeks to get that far. But if your plan to go ahead of them and obtain the Star of Mopalar for Oncathrax's phylactery is to hold, you need some way of getting there first and faster.
Mark, who's in charge of the army while I'm flying ahead?
Nominally, the best choice is probably Commander Adra.
Okay.
She has the most experience with it. But you've also got Namarsilie of the elves, who's particularly skilled. Barrow of the tieflings. But if you're going to nominate a single commander, the person with the most open battlefield experience is Adra.
That's my mum.
Okay, so what I think I'll do is, you remember, the sergeant who was originally my subordinate, he will be in charge of all the Valandor men, but and then he will answer to Adra, and all the various heads of their houses and races should answer to Adra.
Okay.
Kind of divide it that way.
Fair enough.
I mean, if that makes sense.
Yes. So, for you guys as a party then, now would be the time to make any decisions or last-minute preparations, settle on a method of travel, any subterfuges and deceits you wish to have in line when you get there. As has been pointed out a couple of times, your faces and identities are known. And while that arouses a certain amount of excitement in somewhere like Torlek, in Damaresh, that's a quick route to a one-way meeting with Vorum Cathriax.
And flying in by Wyvern will automatically announce our identities.
Not necessarily, no. As we mentioned last time on the trip to Torlek, using Wyverns to get around is not uncommon with people with money and some of the houses. So Wyvern flight, people would notice it, yes, and you would draw some attention, but it will get you there quickly. If you can be disguised enough or have a cover story that's strong enough, it won't necessarily announce who you are.
Well, then I suggest that we dress ourselves as merchants, disguised in desert robes, like the tieflings.
I mean, is there any way that somebody with magic is able to disguise us?
Yes, but we need something we need a base layer to in case
Yeah.
magic fails.
Yeah.
Or that they can see through magic.
Yeah. Having lots and lots of layers of cloth is not uncommon for the desert. So
yeah.
And it's easy. It's a really easy way to disguise yourself in a sort of blend-in way.
Okay.
Okay.
Just, you know,
probably...
like, for lack of a better word, a more Bedouin look.
Yeah.
Chance probably seeks Aval's help in getting a disguise sorted.
Yeah. They can have one of those montages in the movies.
Again, yeah, like another outfit montage.
Yes, absolutely.
She wants to look pretty.
Stealthy and stylish.
Stealthy and stylish. Yeah, probably in try and hide appearance as well as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I don't know how well disguises can be back then. Like what you could get away with, basically.
Well, Bellis has disguise skills. She also can place actual illusions around yourselves. So you have a number of options. But I would suggest that you come up with something fairly sharpish, so you're able to get underway.
Yeah, keeping all my weapons in bundles on my wyvern's saddle. No identifying markings of any kind. I'll even go so far as to dirty up the armor with some, not paint, but just filth.
Right, because it's got Valandor crest all over it.
Yeah, and it's really shiny and all that. So just making it look less fancy.
Just gets out in the sand, like snow
Well,
angels it in the dirt.
Well,
Just rolls around.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he will have been fighting, doing training and stuff in it, so he will let that training dirt cling to it. And
yeah.
Can I already make scrolls at level 7?
I can make scrolls.
Yes.
Can I make 4 polymorph self scrolls?
No. You need a considerable amount. You need to research the formula, get the ink, make sure you have the quills. It's not something you can just do, Zomar.
No. How much time would that take?
A couple of weeks.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay.
My armor has a helmet anyway, doesn't it, Mark?
Mm-hmm.
pretty much all armor has a helmet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I've got... I know I've got loads of cantrips, but...
I always try to make a point of saying that I remove my helmet, because having conversations with people with a big...
What spell did you take, Chanta, in the end? 4th level?
Oh, the bubble. My globe.
Polymorph noodle.
Polymorph noodle. I'm actually gonna grab my companions, my henchmen, and because I'm assuming they're ex-convicts, so they must know a thing or two about sneaks and disguise and things like that.
Yeah, Drazik listens to your concerns. Well, I think your plan to be as disguised as Kashagreen warriors of the deep desert is a good one.
Okay.
Kashagreen merchants. Damarish is a big city. It's a trade city. It's on a natural stone bridge. Roads coming in from north and south in all directions. It's a trade hub in the Northern Empire. Before it was even the capital. Disguising yourselves as merchants is a great idea.
Okay, so if we do the merchant look, and if you guys want to do that as well, and we can all get ready and look as a group as possible.
You want us to come with you on those flying lizards of yours?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm wondering.
Understood. A little concerning, but understood.
They're lovely, and I think you'll love it.
No, they're not. They're not lovely. They're giant, monstrous dragon things with poisonous tails that can bite a man in half. They're not lovely.
They won't do that to you, and I'll make sure it won't happen, I promise. And she extends her pinky that she has.
Oh my god.
Why are you pointing your finger at me?
It's a pinky promise.
I'm a dwarf. I do not do pinky promises.
How do you do it?
I say it. My word is my bond.
Okay. We'll do it.
Good.
And then she goes for like a high five and then puts it away.
You can see that. You can see him trying to decide whether that's like a height-based joke or not. But
I'm
He
wondering.
knows her. He knows he wouldn't do that to him.
he stomps off to discuss the matter with the rest of the Gallows Brotherhood.
The Gallows Fellowship. Gotta be inclusive.
That's very rude.
Shrugs and I don't speak that language.
I'm wondering if maybe I should forge some kind of document for us, like to sort of, if anyone asks and stops us and is like, "Oh, you're merchants? Where from?" And then we can be like, "No, we have a permit. Haha, fooled you."
Excellent,
maybe I
yes.
should do that.
Excellent idea. Yes.
I know. And if things get a bit too hairy, I'm gonna bribe them.
And we can say we're spice merchants or something.
I still think that we should be a troop of traveling bards, but fine, merchants, that works just as well.
Yeah, but if they
Fine.
wanted us to perform, I don't think we'd do very well.
You guys can be my backup dancers. I don't need you.
We could do the spice thing and
I
Darren
think-
will
I
pull
think
out his
I'm
Chanta
sword.
Lady
I think-
Beyonce. I don't know what you're on about.
I think Chanta just hired the backup dancers.
Mm-mm.
Joe Darren says we could do the spice thing, and he just opens his hands and appears like loads of rare spices, and he just lets it fumble for his hand. We could do
Sorted.
the spice thing.
I think that's a good thing.
Okay, let's do that.
So did I forge a document?
Yes, I was roll for you. Yeah. So you forward yourself a letter of marque that is a trading permission to head to Damaresh.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
And when we get
Just
into
covering all our
Damaresh-
bases.
And when we get into Damaresh, I'll make the Moonwhite look like you want a pet dog or something.
Puppy.
Well, something that you would bring along on your journey. So a puppy would not be a good idea.
Yeah, maybe like a hound of some kind.
Yeah, sure.
Another squee, and I could put you in the box.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no.
He's been wanting another friend.
I know he'll have a big hound as a friend.
Okay.
Yeah, we should definitely not look like the races that we are, because they might just identify us based on the combination of races that we are.
The Moonwhite hobbling along will be a dead giveaway. So
Yeah,
Grabs horns.
yeah, exactly. An alpha tiefling, a human, or two humans.
I
I don't
can't exactly
mind.
change my race.
No, but you can cover your ears or
Sounds like the beginning of a
robes.
bad joke, honestly.
He will sprinkle some over his hair, and his hair will turn black.
Okay.
This is as best I can do.
Keep your pointed ears concealed. Some kind of large burnous to conceal your horns.
I haven't got
Chanta.
horns.
yeah,
Yes.
turban of some kind.
Yeah, I'll hide my horns in some way and use either like dirt or something to cover up the facial markings that she has.
Okay.
You
good.
could have like Princess Leia hair.
Yes, that. But she'll need to conceal her burns, so that's another thing. She's going to be very heavy on concealing that.
All right. Okay. So you spend a good hour or so working on your disguises, covering facial markings, ear, hair color, horns, forging documents, prepping your weapons, your armor, making sure your spells are all in order. And then you're gonna head off. Nothing else you need or want to do before setting out?
As long as my squad is coming.
I have a question. Is Tarvo coming with us?
Do you want Tarvo to come with you?
No. He's been a bit whiny recently. No,
This
I'll
doesn't
say
strike
that
me
it's...
as the sort of stealth mission that.
No, I'll say it's from a place of love, and I'll be like, no, darling, you stay here, get to know my mother. You know.
But your mother's
Same
coming.
thing.
She's leading the
But
army.
she's coming later though.
Yeah, Targo
She's-
thinks
she's
this is an
joining us soon.
outstanding idea.
Yes, okay. See you later. Much love.
Somebody,
Bye.
somebody has to look after the fort, you know,
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
and look fabulous doing it. That'll be me.
Yeah. Don't forget to do my laundry. Okay. Bye. Bye. And he's like riding away.
Okay.
So who is going to take care of our special skills while we're there?
I don't know if we need them for this
No.
mission.
You're going into
I
the
mean,
nightingales realm.
I have
You don't
rogue
need them?
skills, so
I have my
We should be fine.
criminals.
mhm.
We'll take Hagen with us.
Oh,
Yeah, well,
Shanta says she has criminals.
I have criminals. Do they have
yeah.
skills, Mark? like
No, they're warriors, so
Oh,
Oh, they're not. They're not that
They
kind
didn't-
of criminal.
they didn't pick up any criminal.
They were just mass murderers and stuff. That's all good.
Ah, sweet. That's what we like. That's what we want. We love this group of horrific humans.
yeah.
We literally just met them.
So who is going to take care of these skills in this mission?
It's a very good question.
We hire someone.
I don't particularly think we need one. I think we should just go.
Okay.
I did say I did want to hire a rogue as part of my crew. I just assumed that there just wasn't one as part of this group.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Is it possible for me to? What's my max henchman? Okay, can I try and get a rogue of sorts,
Locksmith.
a locksmith.
And the amount of time that's remaining to you before leaving, not really. No, that's a little last minute.
Okay.
Don't need a
So,
locksmith.
Abel, I disagree that we shouldn't bring one along.
Okay.
Not persuade your friend to come along because he did very well last time.
I mean, I don't want him to come along. But if we all agree that we need him, then I can try and convince him to come. But it's not that I don't want a rogue, it's that I don't want Tarvo to come along because it's Tarvo.
I get your point, yeah. If I had a choice, I wouldn't want you to come along either. Or your brother, or any of the others.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be risky, and we are going to put ourselves at risk, yes, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, your call. I think we will be needing it, but that's just my assessment.
Well,
So
what does everyone else want?
There must be at least one person in our entire army that has these skills. Could we not quickly just ask around the leaders of each
What
of the main bands?
specific skills are you looking for?
That's a good question.
Something to deal with finding and removing traps for sure.
Yeah.
Potentially
Lockpicking.
lock picking. Yeah.
Potentially lockpicking, handling poison, doing that kind of stuff.
If we could get an 8th level rogue, that would be really cool.
You're so meta.
Okay. Look, it's just this is my feeling. I thought that our friend would be joining us. If he's not, then we need to be prepared that we will actually, if we run into this kind of stuff, we might die. It's just the only thing I'm saying here. So I don't mind going. It's fine. I mean, death comes for us.
Are there
all.
no
This is what it
are there
goes.
no spells that can help us in situations like that?
Yeah, there are some.
Okay. Well,
But
let's resort to those.
Those spells you can't turn off when can't turn them on and off when you need them. There's a very limited amount of spells you can cast. And you should
Well, we
know
can't
when
be
to cast them,
prepared
and
for
with a-
every
with a
single
with-
eventuality.
During this conversation, Chanta will be off talking to the leaders of like the kind of each mini kind of group of bands and just see if they have someone in their arsenal that could potentially
There are absolutely in both in the Tieflings and the Ghost Elves, not so much in Mordath and Valandor, but certainly in amongst the Crimson Company. There are specialists, sappers, tunnelers, scouts who can be sent with you. Absolutely. Of a similar kind of skill level as Tarvo or Hagen, for example? No. To put it in game terms, characters of your level are extremely rare. But certainly someone of first, second, maybe even third level could be found to come with you, yes. Like an Army Special Forces scout or a Tiefling sapper or something along those lines. Yeah, that's completely possible.
I'm gonna go ask Tarvo. Even though she just saw Avel say don't come, Janet's gonna go to Tarvo.
Okay. Oh,
Hi.
Shanta,
Hello.
have you not left yet?
No, we're kind of on like a tricky situation right now that's holding us up a little bit. Just a quick question. I know why Avel asked you to stay behind, and I get why you would also want to. I would be the same in that situation, but it has occurred to us that we are incredibly unequipped to deal with things like traps and locks, and this is something that could be very detrimental to us. And I know that you staying here saves you, but it also puts Avel at greater risk, and I'm wondering if I could possibly persuade you to come with us.
Did he ask you to come and speak to me?
No.
Does he know you're speaking to me?
No. But I was thinking you could be like a hero and be like, no, I'll come as well.
Last time, Chanta, there was a dragon.
Yeah, there won't be a...
Quite a big one. No, that's not true, because there will. There'll be an even bigger one.
Yeah, I realised halfway through saying there wouldn't be one. But we really need someone of your skill. And I've got my men coming with me, and I can have them keeping an eye and help and protecting you.
Those numpties.
They're not numpties.
That's racist.
Breakfast even.
Fine. I'll come.
And she gives him a big hug.
Don't touch me.
Okay.
Don't touch me.
Okay. Thank you. And then she runs back away before he changes his mind.
So, Tarvo appears about 20 minutes later while you guys are saddling up the wyverns with a pack over his shoulder, his heavy leather coat, sword at his side.
And where do you think you're going?
You can get someone else to do your laundry.
I told you to stay.
Yes, I know you did, but you're not the boss of me.
Dennis gives a quiet nod to Chanta.
I'm not happy about this.
Look, what's going to happen? You're going into some kind of crypt under the city, aren't you? Under the temples of the old gods.
Yeah, we've done that before.
Yes.
It's fine, you know?
I just wanted to add something.
I'll make sure it's fine.
Extremely important.
Go on.
Chanta has killed off Arnout's mother, my sister. There's room for more.
Yeah, what if Chanta kills you, Tarvo? I'm not letting that happen.
Did you say that in character?
No, of course I don't.
I was going to say that would destroy her.
If you do, this is where Bellis will reach up and go in your head.
You can't can't reach that high, even though I'm 5'9".
You watch me.
Moonwights can't jump.
And
Yeah,
it's just
down, boy.
parkour's off
Down.
chanter, like
I
just
can
jumps
levitate.
Fact is, I'm not letting you gallivant off to get yourself killed on your own.
Oh, gallivant my butt, fine. But you better stay out of my way. I don't want you getting hurt when you don't have to be. And you know, I've been known to swing my sword sometimes.
I don't want to talk about that.
Gentlemen, as much as I love this conversation, can we please get going?
Yeah, I bet you do. Let's ride.
Very well, then ride you do. The wyverns are aloft, and Valandor recedes once more into the distance. It was a handful of days to reach the city of Torlak. Damaresh itself is far further north. The Great Plains of the Imperial Heartlands, they pass below you. And you stop from night to night in copses and sheltered dells, dropping low as the sun sets to avoid being seen in silhouette, and starting out the next day. Eventually, you start to see the broken badlands that mark the border between the Central Empire and the lush forests of the north. A webwork of canyons that split the land open, as if one of the gods has hammered their great fist into the world. Roads down below, lines of travelers coming to and fro, mark your proximity to Damaresh itself. And eventually you descend toward the city. The Bridge City, it is called. The greatest of these canyons, the Canyon of the Storm, has an immense stone bridge over it. And on this huge stone bridge, sprawling out in both directions, is the city of Damaresh itself. Quite literally, the Bridge City. And in the canyon below it, the Eternal Tempest, which you have heard of many times. Never seen. Your last visit here, Mealadin's Causeway, took you straight into the heart of the palace. But it is a monstrous storm with billows and bellows and boils deep in the canyon below. Legend has it that it is a portal through time itself. You land outside the walls to north or south. It doesn't matter which. And I am uploading into the Discord chat now a rough map of the city.
I swear to God, if you get Tavo killed, I'm gonna hate you forever, Shanta.
Is that in person? Is that in character? Or is it not in character?
We'll see, won't we? We'll see.
I have forwarded you some defensive spells. Mark.
Okay, can you roll me d20 3 times, please?
Yes.
Did you make this, Matt?
Yeah.
10,
Ooh.
14. 3, 10, 14.
3, 10, 14. So the last one's a fail. So that's the +1 extra save against spells. You mangle the sketch, unfortunately. But you're just getting used to drawing on skin as opposed to stone. But the other two go off without a hitch. Okay, fine. All right. So yeah, before Bellis hides herself within the luggage, and as you land, she turns herself into a small furry dog.
Oh, he's a cutie. Oh,
Is it a Rottweiler but the size of a Chihuahua?
No, it looks like Ozzy. Get Ozzy, get Ozzy.
He's over there on the bed.
Oh,
That's
cute
got to be like
little
a
man.
big dog, like a Great Dane, but the size of a Chihuahua.
Okay, so take a look.
Belly's
Take a
little
look.
many
boy.
pets.
Take a look at the map. If you want a version without the color coding on it, I can upload that too. But basically, you can see there is a large market area to the north that's sprawling and kind of scummy with slums all around it, tents and bazaars and stalls spilling out from the northern gates of the city. As you can probably see on the map, the canyon is to either side of the main center. It's like a bridge that goes across the canyon. And there's also a southern market outside the southern walls. That's a little bit more upmarket. Caravanserais, semi-permanent holdings set up there. You'll get better treatment at the south market, but you'll be less conspicuous at the north market. Yeah, probably best to avoid the Palace District.
I don't like where it says "Here be dragons."
Yeah. So, on your map, where are we here? The area that's marked West Rim. North of that, you'll see an area marked Hebdomarium. Yeah, just to the southwest of the bazaar. The Hebdomarium is the old temple district, the district of the Hebdomad, the old seven gods of Damaresh, and it's beneath that particular district that the crypts of the Hebdomad are, where Freya told you, willingly or otherwise, that the Nightingale is currently having a hideout, and where you can hopefully find the Star of Nopilar. Okay? So that gives you a destination.
And what's a good place to land the wyverns inconspicuously?
So the least conspicuous place would be at the northern market.
And are there like stables for wyverns there?
Yeah, there's, as with Imperial Torlek, there are large cordoned off areas where you can stable them. As you circle down, you can see there's 4 wyverns already down there.
Okay, cool. Make sure to bribe the stable hands to take good care of our wyverns.
As you land, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I can properly bribe them if you want. Like, with one of my rogue skills. Just so that we get that added little, hush hush.
That sounds good.
All right.
Make sure to use your thickest Kashagarine accent.
Yeah. I don't know what that sounds like, but
Neither do I.
don't tell anybody about this.
Come a long way, have you? From Kashigari, the stable lad says, as they run up and down the length, lashing off the halters on all of your wyverns.
Yes, indeed, and we'd very much appreciate it if you took special care of these guys.
And how much do you hand him over?
Uh,
Your bribe skill tells you that 5 gold pieces for a party your size with wyverns. With what you got, like almost 10 of them.
I give him 10 gold pieces then.
Extra feed and clean water. I promise you.
Good.
It's my
And
promise.
let's just say these wyverns don't exist outside of this stable, right?
Say no word. Business is best done on the sly.
Haha. All right.
And he turns to the other stable boys. Lads, we've been given 5 gold pieces. Here, let me share it out.
On the sly.
Yeah, I just give him a wink and have a good day.
Okay. Okay, so into Damaresh itself then. Through the northern market and the outer walls. The Beggar's Run with its large central alleyways and shops of all kinds on either side. Damaresh is a cramped city. Much of it has been crammed together on the stone bridge, trying to fit in as many buildings and alleyways and plazas as possible here. Various edifices are crammed cheek by jowl, sway-backed ruins, old houses leaning in their foundations against others, 3, 4, in some cases 5 stories tall, with alleyways winding back and forward in between them. A cosmopolitan mix of races like you haven't seen them. Humans, yes, tieflings, dwarves, elves of a variety of hues and houses, dragonborn, but also what would appear to be sizable contingents of half-orcs and even the occasional Moj, tall, slender reptilians whom, as stories say, are undergoing personal draconic transformations. A species born of will, not of blood. And the smell, oh gods, the smell. There's not much place to have runoff of sewage, except over the edges of the bridge itself, and out onto the surrounding lands. And the stink is something that really takes getting used to. The first few minutes of walking down Beggar's Run and toward the Great Bazaar, you are actually becoming somewhat lightheaded from the mix of what you hope are sweat and spices. Although looking at some of the hard, packed matter underneath, you're sure it has to be produce of a more bodily kind, shall we say. In many of the alleyways, refuse is piled, littered here and there, rats scurrying in and out of little warrens of their own making. The bazaar itself is a sprawling, intermingled souk of lots of little alleyways and alcoves, roofed over almost entirely, here and there open to the sky. If any of you have seen like the Grand Bazaar in Istanbul or places like that, it's just a labyrinth that you could easily become lost in for hours or days.
I gather my things around me and secure them.
Mm-hmm. Just a minute, please.
Everyone just starts grabbing their things, like.
Yeah. Aldrich, as Jade kind of mentions this, as you start to gather your stuff about, you realize that your coin purse is missing. You're muted. I'm presuming you're telling me you didn't have much in it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm too worried about it. I probably had more than most people carry, but.
Okay, well, how many gold pieces were you carrying?
I was carrying about 70 gold on my person.
Yep. Okay. So that's gone. You can see there's the little tassels by which it was hanging neatly sliced.
Hmm.
So I presume you are heading directly off the bazaar to the Hebdomarium.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yep.
Well, you skirt the edge of the great souk that is the bazaar. And from one of the alleyways at the edge of it, a figure with a hood pulled down over half of their face. You think a half-elf with a straggly little beard. Hey!
Hagen?
What?
no, wrong person. And he looks away like, oh. He didn't hear anything.
Black Lotus. And he opens his cloak, and you can see what appeared to be hanging from the inside of the cloak, dried herbs of some kind.
Oh, you selling drugs?
It's the best.
Oh, dude, let me get in on that. Nah, just kidding. Or am I? Haha.
50 gold. A dose.
Do I look like I'm made of money?
3 doses for 100.
Absolutely not.
Quickly.
No, dude. No, we've been doing a lot of shopping today, haven't we, lads? No, I don't think we will be.
It's the real stuff.
I don't care.
I swear it. I wouldn't sell Haga to a slayer such as you.
And why do you think you know so much about me all of a sudden?
Can I sniff it from where I am?
Yeah, give me a d20 roll, please.
I didn't mean to start buying
I rolled a
drugs, and yet
natural
here I
one.
am.
Natural one. Yeah, it smells like the real thing.
I'm assuming we're kind of trying to keep a low profile.
Can you drag me away, because I didn't mean to get involved.
So at the moment, yeah, you're skirted the edge of the Great Bazaar with its overhanging roofs and its intertwining labyrinthine passages. And ahead of you is the area which you've been told is called the Hebdomarium.
This is exactly like Istanbul. You just say no thanks, and now you're suddenly engaged in conversation with them, and you're like, no, really, I'm leaving now, and they're still yelling at you from across the road. Like,
It was the old temple district, although the gods of the Hebdomad, so the stories go, left Erroth on the night of no stars, and it has had 1,000 years to fall into ruin. Now it's very clearly a slum. Lean-tos and hovels and tarpaulins and temporary shelters that have accumulated and accreted over generations. You're going to be making your way into a particularly unpleasant part of the city to get to where you want to go.
Anta just approaches Abel and grabs him and pulls him away and just says, "He's quitting," and just like tries to pull him away.
no, Shanta, whatever will I do without my spices?
If you change your mind, you know where to find me. It's
I
there.
really... Nah, I don't know
say
where
my
we
name.
are.
Did you just say my name?
Oh?
No.
No.
Oh, Planter. You're such a joke. You're such a kid.
Okay. So then you leave the Black Lotus salesman behind and press ahead and into the slum of the Hebdomarium.
I'm using my danger sense to keep an eye out for any kind of, ambushes of ill repute.
Okay.
Yeah, likewise.
As you move toward the slum, coming along one of the side streets, there is a group of 4 men armed in white tabards, silver helmets with white plumes. What you know of Damaresh, these are men of the Valiant Legion, the city guard. Wait there a minute, please, the sergeant says.
I stop.
You do know where you're going, don't you?
Yes, of course.
I'm sorry, I saw your robes. I took you to be Kashagreen travelers. That is a very bad part of town. You say you know where you're going. What business have you in there?
I hand Aldrich the hand-forged document.
We have a contact who lives in this area.
What kind of contact?
I hand him.
It's like, yeah, your papers are all in order, but if it's trade you're looking for, there are better places to look for it than here.
Well, where would you recommend?
Anywhere but this part of town.
Well, thank you for your advice. I will keep that in mind. Are you telling us to leave?
You said you had a contact in there. I asked you for what?
For trade, of course.
What are you trading with in the Hebdomarium?
Spices.
What kind of spices?
I show him.
Yes,
We're selling the spice.
On your head be it.
I'm sorry, I failed to see what's confusing about this.
Are we allowed to defend ourselves if attacked in there?
I would if I were you. You wouldn't be getting any help from us.
Thank you.
Kashigiri. He nods to his men. And they turn and head off.
I wait until they're out of sight and then proceed.
Okay.
Once they're out of sight, before we proceed, Chandler just goes, do we have to go through this place? Maybe we can go round it.
Not only do you need to go through it, you need to go into it and underneath. Freya told you that the Nightingale is layering in crypts beneath this district.
I get my men to do like as if they could go to like the outer corners of the group as we move, so that they're kind of on the edge, and just have them ready.
I assume I've interacted with these men of hers before.
They're my clique.
Your clique. Okay.
They don't like you. No, I'm joking.
Okay.
They've heard all the gossip about you, Aldrich Valendor.
Yes, I'm
They're like, oh, it's him. No, I'm joking. You know.
Well, I see if I can help them distribute themselves in a tactfully helpful way.
There's 6 of them.
Okay, cool.
So they set themselves up as a loose cordon around your group, and you head into the slum of the Hebdomarium.
Keep your eyes peeled, people.
Yeah,
Here
eyes peeled, people.
Here the tightly packed citizenry of the streets bleeds away somewhat. Those who make their homes here, keeping out of the sun, watching from the shadows of windows or doorways, or under tarpaulins stretched between ruined sections of wall. The buildings here must have been beautiful once. Marble, fine polished granite. You can see remnants of statues shattered on the sides of plazas. What would certainly have been well-appointed temples. But the gods of the Hebdomad are long gone. Their worshippers followed soon after. And dereliction came in its place. So, you are looking for crypts, a way underground.
I'll have Squee looking out of the box because he's got a better perception than I do.
Okay.
I'll try doing a bit of little information gathering. I've got that as a skill.
Okay, nice. Judarian, give me a roll for that, please.
D20?
Yeah.
5 on the dice.
Beautiful. Even with your 9 charisma, that's...
Oh, really? Sorry, guys, I won't do that anymore.
You find a couple of lads loitering on the steps of what looks to have once been a large bathhouse. Crypts, you say? One of them says.
That's right.
We can help you.
Can I maybe help out Judarian? Because I've got worldly charm. So when meeting new people, I've got a bonus to saying things.
He seems to have miraculously done particularly well with this.
Yeah, so I'm just saying if he runs into trouble, I'm there.
Normally he would be like, "Pretty good fellow, tell me of yon crypt." But
So
no,
I would have got a
Shut
+3 on that, which is bad, isn't it? Because with non-elves, I've got a +3. So
Yeah.
so that would have been an 8. Yeah.
Even so, that's an 8.
Yeah.
That's still a success.
Okay.
Look into my pretty eyes.
Is it a woman?
We'll show you. Back here, there's a plaza. Open sewer grates. Come this way. We'll show you.
I'll follow.
Okay. Aldrich, can you make me a D20, please?
Yeah, I'm going to be keeping it, especially if they're leading us somewhere. I'm going to be very aware of my
I
surroundings.
rolled a 14.
14. Okay, that's higher than your wisdom. So you are taken a little bit by surprise when the two young lads lead you into the plaza behind the bathhouse. And from the shadows of nearby alleys, you realize there's half a dozen people have just kind of sauntered out, leaning against the walls of where you've just come from.
Okay.
One of them calls out, "Friends, we understand that you are visitors here to our humble little abode. Perhaps a sign of appreciation would be in order. Isn't that right, gentlemen?" There's a low murmur of agreement comes from around the group.
I think you boys can look the other way, actually. I've got no problem with you.
How many are there?
There's 6 behind you and 2 in front. That's all you see at the moment.
I was
Can
so
I
going to shoot the
influence-
guy that said that.
No, can I influence the guy that just spoke?
Uh,
With my worldly charm, and I've also got influence reactions as one of my abilities.
If Jadarian is going to shoot him, that is unlikely to.
Jadarian! Don't even think about it. Put that bow away, sir.
He does
Listen.
put his bow out, but then obviously here's a
No.
We're trying not to draw attention.
I-
I whisper in Jadarian's ear.
Without even looking, I sort of lower the bow.
Cut down. So what do you say, Avel?
Or has he said anything to me after what I just said?
A little gesture of appreciation. And I think we can
And-
all go about our ways.
lift my bow again. What sort of appreciation are we talking?
No. Please ignore my friend here. What kind of gesture are we talking?
Well, it seems
should
to
I
me
say?
there's fine
How much?
some fine Kashyyyrian gentlemen who've come such a long way will be looking to lighten their load a little, don't you think? Those heavy, heavy coin purses.
Oh, yes, our heavy, heavy coin purses.
We're actually on the way to sell stuff, so we haven't made money yet.
A little.
What are you selling, my dear?
Spice.
I tell people, I just give Shanta a look, and I go,
A little doggy saunters over and sniffles around the guy's feet, and then lifts her feet.
Hello, little dog.
And I pee against his shoe.
No, no.
He kicks you. Get off, you dirty little
I-
cur!
The little mangy dog tries to dodge. He's used to getting kicked.
oh, God, this is
Be
going
careful, he
bad.
has rabies.
It just misses your tail as you kind of prance out the way. This is your dog. Keep it under control and hand over the spice.
I don't think we'll be doing that. Although I could.
grab sand and I use my cantrip to change it into looking like spice.
I literally saw you just pick that up.
No, you didn't.
You did it. Just, I mean, I'm standing right here.
No, I was.
The doggy comes back.
Keep
Keep that dog away from me, or I'm going to cut its dirty little throat.
Jadarian sizes. How about you give us
Your money.
some appreciation?
How about you give us all your money? I say.
That's not.
No, yes, this is how this is going to go. If you don't get
Look-
out of here, I'm going to cut all of you down before you can
Okay.
say
All right,
the
listen.
next word.
As soon as he
I
opens
walk,
his
I
mouth,
walk up.
Mark,
I walk up to him, and I just stand as tall as I can. 6'4", built like a brick shithouse. I'm standing over him. Leave.
He
Swoon.
leans down and pulls a long, curved short sword and kind of taps it against his palm.
I unfurl
cut-
the top of the ranseur. You want a piece of me, you little shit?
A little doggy goes behind him.
I'll be taking more than a piece of you.
Him.
Spice and all your money.
I kill him.
I kill.
3 attacks.
Guys, what the fuck?
I murder him.
Oh, you can never just wait until I do some talking. You're always just like, you know what, I'm gonna fucking stab you.
We waited long enough, Avil.
You didn't
Murder
even
time.
You didn't even let me roll to influence him.
Okay,
Alan needs to get his murder hobo on.
Oh look, and now we're rolling initiative. Of course we are. Fucking hell.
I saw you pick that up. No.
We can't ever just have a nice chat with people. We always have to be murdering
This is
them.
not a nice neighborhood. They're mugging us.
You didn't even let me try. You didn't even let me try.
How many muggers do you know that are willing to
God.
walk away?
Okay, Aldrich.
I rolled a 6, so that's plus 2, 8.
Okay, Bellis.
4.
Shanta.
If you let me do my thing, we
3.
wouldn't have been murdered or mugged.
Jadarian.
Minimum
I feel
for
like
me,
we're
4.
we're literally in
4.
like a slum. I feel like they have no
Have
armor.
I
They
saw
have
a
no
5
good
there?
weapons.
Yes, I got a 5.
Okay.
I feel like we're literally gonna slice them down.
Well, it depends. I'll see how quickly this first guy goes down.
Okay, and your troops act on the same initiative as you, Shanta. So you
Sweet.
need to direct them. Okay, Aldrich, you're first, actually.
I am first?
Yes.
Okay. The first attack is hold on. First attack hits armor class 25.
Yep.
Second attack hits armor class 35.
Yep.
33. And the third attack hits armor class 35.
Well, he's only armor class 20, so.
Okay. First hit does 13 points of damage.
Yep.
Second hit does 15 points of damage.
Yep.
And the last hit does 17 points of damage.
Yeah, you cut him to absolute pieces with the Ranseur. His body is hewn into 3 separate parts and just lies twitching on the floor, blood spouting everywhere.
And when I finish that, I scream, "Who else wants a piece?"
There is a furious roar from the men surrounding your group. They all charge in a mad melee towards you. You realize, of course, they're not alone.
Of course they do.
Some of the slum buildings around you, on some of the upper levels, others pop into view wielding crossbows and start firing down toward you.
That's not fair.
Fair, right.
This is why we don't mess around.
Perfect time for a natural 20. Jadarian, one of the crossbow bolts strikes you solidly. That's 9 damage. The other one whistles, goes right over your head, but this is a crazy lucky shot where someone just managed to pop up a one moment bump and put one right between your shoulder blades. Tyro throws himself sideways as 4 more bolts whiz past him. Okay. Around you, the other thugs come charging in, slashing, stabbing. Jadarian, Avil, Aldrich, well placed, but blows not able to get through your armor. Your Valandor plate, and Avil, in your case, the dragon hide that you've recently donned, just takes a slash from a short sword clean across the front of it. with no apparent damage at all. Seeing you injured, Jadarian, 3 of them have surrounded you and are lunging and stabbing at you with long-length blades, but are quite unable for the blows to land. And Tavo throws himself toward a nearby alleyway and disappears from sight momentarily. Apple.
Okay, well, quite reluctantly, I draw my Kopesh and I try and attack one of the people that are surrounding Jadarian.
Yep.
So that would be... I rolled a 19.
Yep. The armor class for these guys, the armor class is 17. So.
Okay, and that is for the... Did I say Kopesh or?
Yeah, you said Kopesh.
Okay, right. So that's 2d8. No, 2d4, sorry. Whoop! One of them dropped. Hold on. Okay, so that is a 6
Damage. Yeah, okay. Their leader was made of stronger stuff, but his associates are not. Your Kopesh opens his belly. His innards spill outward. He stumbles forward, trying to grab onto them with his last futile moments, and slumps dead at your feet.
Okay.
Jadarian and Bellis.
Go ahead, Jadarian.
Okay. I will. The 3 around me. I will just. I had an arrow knocked, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I will shoot 4 arrows in. Picking them off as I go. So
there's 2 around you now.
okay. Well, the first one, 6 on the dice, which will be armor class 24.
Yeah.
I'll do the damage on that first. Actually, that is 10 damage. That's terrible damage. Are they classed as evil?
No, they're not classed as evil.
Okay.
Just very, very greedy.
Second arrow, next guy was an 18 on the die, so that would be a hit as well. That's a little bit better. 12 damage.
You drop him as well.
And then the other 2 arrows will go up towards the crossbowman.
Yep.
One is 2 on the dice, which is armor class 20.
That's just a hit. Get a little bit of cover there.
Max damage of 16.
Just he takes from the top of his head as it's appearing above the battlements of an old temple. Down he goes.
And the last one is another 2 on the dice for armor class 20. God, bad rolls, and that is a 12 off.
A good moment for bad rolls.
Yeah, you have dropped 4 in quick succession with your bow, spinning, shooting, whirling, dropping them all as they come. Bellis?
Bellis, little doggy, runs away from all this aggression from all these humans into the alleyway where she saw another human disappear and sniffs out where he is.
The only person who ran into the alleyway was Tavo.
Correct.
Okay, well...
She's going to hide with Tharvo and make sure that he's all right and stays all right.
You can smell him somewhere, but you can't see him anywhere.
Okay. I stay in the dark alleyway. I think it's a safe place to be.
Okay, no actions?
Nope.
Just hiding. Okay, and Shanta.
Hear me out. How many are there? Is there like loads and loads and loads of people?
On the ground around you, there are 4 still around, and on the buildings up above, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6. Okay. So I'm gonna fire. Can I fire magic missiles at different people, or does it have to be the same target?
Yes.
Okay. So the 4 on the ground. Yep. I'm going to fire 1 at each of them and command my men to each, because there's 6 of my men, there's 6 up there, and all 6 take out the 1 each. Pick 1.
Okay.
So that is, one of them gets 4 damage, another one gets 4, another gets 3, and another gets 2.
Okay, the ones that took 4 are killed outright. The other 2 are badly injured, stagger backwards as magic missiles streak in all directions around you. And then the Gallows Brotherhood open fire. 1, 2, and then the crossbow. Okay. Thea, Clear, and Drazek take out 4 of the troops of the muggers, should I say, on the upper level of the temple around you, leaving only 2 up there. And that's probably a good time for a morale check on their part. The ones at the top flee. The 2 down below look around. They're not even sure they're going to be able to get away. You can see almost fatalistic panic comes into their eyes. Okay. Inish, quick, please.
Who do we lose? Panda.
Just lost Panda.
Inish.
Do we need to redo cameras?
We will do in a bit, but.
Okay.
Wait, I'll wait till she joins.
6. I'll put it in.
Okay. 5 there for Avril Aldrich.
I have a 4.
For Bellis, I see 6. And Jadarian.
Minimum again for me, 4.
Shut up, curfew. 4 for Jadarian.
What's that sound?
Oh, that's curfew.
Curfew alarm for over here. I've got mine on silent, so that doesn't happen.
Okay, Bellis.
Bellis sits quietly in the alleyway and awaits them to clean up.
Okay, nice. So you're holding your action, or
I'm
you're
holding
just
my
doing
action
nothing?
and I'm sniffing around to see whether I can maybe locate our friend.
Topper?
But he doesn't. Yeah.
No, he's the scent of him has disappeared now. You think he's left the
disappeared.
alleyway, but you can't see where he is.
Okay.
Okay, Avril and Tavo. Tavo reveals himself a moment later, appearing from behind a small pile of rubble. You have no idea how he got there, Bellis.
Mhm.
And just kind of appears up behind one guy, slits his throat.
Nice.
There's only one person left on the ground now, and he's kind of like spinning around with his blade, looking like this is just, why did I not just stay in bed?
Okay. I'm going to try and use my ability to influence his reactions, and I'm going to say, you saw nothing here. And if you think otherwise, I'm going to kill you. Do you
Let me
understand?
go. Just let me go, okay? We
You never saw us.
He starts to back away, looking around, hoping he's going to be allowed to leave. Jadarian and Aldrich.
Well, does he? What does he look like? Is he like a little boy?
Terrified, injured with a magic missile. I mean, little boy, 20, 21 maybe.
All right,
Skinny,
Go on.
badly dressed.
run.
He looks at the absolute carnage around that's been leveled in less than under a minute, and turns and runs to a
Rethink your
nearby-
life choices.
Oh well! He shouts. Anything from Jadarian on 4?
No, he just sits and watches. He's going to just eye around, see if anyone else was watching.
Do you want to redo cameras quickly?
Yep.
Yeah, let's do that.
Everyone off then, except Panda.
I'm so sorry, guys. My
It's all right.
internet just cut out.
No, it's okay.
Mark on. I think it's Aldrich next.
Did my guys destroy them?
Let me just
Oh,
make
we
sure.
let one go because we're
Carl-
nice like that.
And then a
2 of
Vel.
them fled and we let one go.
Yes.
There we go. All good.
Okay. All right.
We didn't break character all through that. Hopefully,
You did
of
not.
our disguises. I mean,
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, and on 3. Okay, there is a quartet of
Yeah, I thought so.
pops of energy of teleportation magic as 4 powerfully built Wormborn appear. Heavy armor, heavy weapons, looking around. One of them sets eyes straight away on Shanta. That one! Witch! And they charge.
Wait, I thought it was just Torlek that we
No.
couldn't use magic.
What? The main place is here.
Oh, I
That's
thought
why I
it
was like,
just
no.
Torlek.
I was like, no.
Oh no, I thought it was just Torlek.
18 and armor class
Fuck's
25.
sake.
Both hit.
Oh, it was in character, Chandler. Don't worry.
Oh.
With your
Is my-
tiny wisdom. it
Have I
makes
lost my
sense.
action, Mark?
Yeah, you said you were just going to stand around and look.
Look around, yeah.
Shanta, you take 19 damage.
Oh my
from
god.
The two of them who reach you, hack at you with their huge blades. That puts you on 9 hit points. The other two spin and take up guarding positions with their backs to Shanta and their two companions who are hewing at her, watching to see what the rest of you do. One of them snarls, "Stand back!" Bellis, you have a held action, then it's the end of the round.
I changed back into Bellis form.
Yeah, okay.
Actually, I run behind, past all the.
Quiet, Carl.
Am I quiet?
Sound
I
quite
can hear
quiet to me. I can hear him, but he's very quiet.
Okay.
There we go.
I'm gonna run past the Dragonborn in my doggy form, and then change form there.
Okay, so off behind them in the street. They notice the dog run past, but I mean,
Yeah.
tis just another mangy cur in the Hebdomarium.
Yeah, and when is that an action? I'm becoming my polygon.
Yes. So, you and become a moonlight, which is slightly bigger than the dog. Let's be fair.
And
Initiative,
cast some
please.
I'm so angry at myself. I'm so sorry,
For God's
guys.
sake.
We shouldn't have even been fighting in the first place. So.
Okay, Aldrich,
6.
6. Bellis, I saw a 7. Shanta,
4.
4. Jadarian,
One better, 5.
you, Aval,
6.
a 6, and Talival, 7. Okay. Bellis, and at the same time, Tarvo throws himself behind a nearby pile of rubble and, vanishes from sight. Bellis, what do you do?
I cast a suggestion on one of the priests, and I
Yep.
say, "Kill him."
Pointing to the other priest.
Yes.
Okay, well, that's definitely worth a saving throw.
Good luck.
14.
It's an illusion spell, right?
You tell me.
I think so.
I'm pretty sure suggestion is enchantment charm, but
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
You're
enchantment.
right. Sorry, it is. Yeah.
okay. Kind of shakes his head. No, you'll be next, White. And steps toward you, and you can already see white energy churning within his mouth.
Can I move?
Yeah, you can move.
Because no, I have done my action, so I haven't moved. I tried to dodge out of the way for
Okay.
whatever is coming.
You will get a saving throw. Aval,
I don't know if it's a good idea to fight these guys or not, because obviously I don't want Chanta to die, but... Ooh.
there's a butt there? That's great.
Can I use hold person on the one that's sort of...
They do count
Fighting?
as person. Yeah, and if you cast it on just one person, he'll get a penalty.
Oh, poopy butthole. Am I allowed to cast it on more than one?
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought hold person.
Up to
No.
4,
Like-
I think.
Up to
Person.
Up to 4.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'm gonna do the whole group.
Okay.
Huzzah.
4 saving throws.
The thing is, if you cast on one, the chance that it actually
A
works
19.
is much higher.
A 3. A 7.
See, you're just saying numbers. I don't get it.
And a 4. 3 of them fail.
Hell
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
And
Well done.
one of them is held in place.
I have a brilliant idea.
Say 3 of them are held in place, yeah?
3 of them
Yeah.
are held in place. Yeah. At the same
Yeah.
time, by the way, Aldrich.
Okay, I attack the one that's not held.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's armor class 25.
Okay.
That's
But-
the one who's about to. That's the one who's charging toward Bellis, by the way.
Yes, I attack him. Okay. First attack hits armor class 35. Second attack hits armor class 32. And the last one hits armor class 26. So that should all be hits.
Are they classed as evil?
No.
Oh wow, really?
What?
I'm not.
Okay, first one does
From their perspective, the Jedi are evil. I mean, you're evil. Carry on,
okay,
man.
14 damage on the first hit.
Yep.
Another 14 damage on the second hit.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, no, I rolled the wrong die. Sorry, my bad. So actually, it is the same amount of damage. And 11 points of damage on the last hit.
39. Okay. 3 solid blows. It draws his attention away from Bellis and he spins toward you. You can see electrical energy coursing up the inside of his jaws. Shanta. No, sorry, Judarian, then Shanta.
I will see that happening and start shooting. So I've got to roll a 7 minimum. That was a 6, so that's a miss. Armor class 24. Is he close
25.
quarters though? Yeah, I hit 24.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is.
So do I get close combat fighting? Because I'm.
What?
It's not the same, is it? Point blank.
You want
So
pinpoint accuracy.
More damage, right? Yeah.
I've got pinpoint accurate. Yeah, but that's on my. I think I've already added that. That's fine. Second one was a 15 to hit. 15, and the next one was an 18 on the die, so 2 hits. It's not too bad. 24 damage.
The 2 arrows thud into him. He drops to his knees, lies face down on the ground. Electricity.
Okay,
coursing along.
very quickly I shout out, "Put his body underneath the held ones and run!"
Okay, and finally Shanta.
Is anyone by the 3 that are being held?
You are.
So is it just me that's by them?
2 of them were attacking you, and 1 was facing away from you, kind of guarding.
I
The
thought they
4th
were
one
held.
ran toward Bellis. Yeah, but that's where they're held.
Oh, that's where they're held. Okay. Will attacking them break the hold person?
No.
No.
Yeah, but
Okay.
you
then...
need to move because they're going to. Have you not
Oh,
learned
yeah.
your lesson?
Remember
No chatting
They're
out of
gonna-
action.
remember what happened last time?
Oi!
So
How did you
What I
die
was-
last time?
Shanta,
I
what
know.
are you doing?
So my plan was to run about 30 feet away from them
Yeah.
and then to turn around. And if it's not going to affect the whole person, she's just going to say, I've been practicing this, and then exhales, and I'm going to try and use my breath weapon on them.
Nice. Okay. You turn back up and show them what Vorum Cathriax gave you.
Okay.
8d6 damage.
I just want to
and
add,
then
I
give
would have
us a-
moved away as well, by the way.
Well, that's why I clarified no one else was by them. I was like,
Right, I would have moved away.
Okay, who's good at maths? Tally this for me, please.
Yep.
6, 6, 5, 5, 3, 3, 1, 1.
30.
Yeah, correct.
No saving throws. Okay, the flames erupt out of you. You can feel the heat rising up through your gullet, splitting out through your mouth, and engulfs all 3 of the Wormborn who previously were standing around you. Terror fills their eyes as the flames lick them from head to toe. They do not fall. Their thick Wormborn hide preventing them from dying, but it is a cripplingly devastating injuries that you deal against them. Their skin blackens, peels, and fall off. Their armor singes and smokes in the heat, and were they not held, they would be screaming in agony right now. Instead, they are forced to scream on the inside, which is the worst
then-
place to scream.
Keep running, and as we run away, I want my men to run as well, but potentially fire at them as they run away also.
Yeah, I want to
Okay.
stay within distance. I can see them blow up if they do.
Yeah, okay. Right, no need for initiative this round. You all turn and scatter away. Long moments go by, and then the felled wormborn detonates. 6, 6, 6, 6. 24, 34, 39, and kills his companions.
Who are now going to explode themselves, so...
Who then similarly...
I count how long it takes from...
it's different for each one.
Okay.
It's a couple of minutes, 3 minutes for one, less than a minute for another. Different amounts of time. But 4 rapid explosions of electrical energy echo detonations ringing from the walls of the plaza around you. At the very least, however, your mugger friends appear to have been telling the truth. There is indeed an open sewer grate.
Okay, let's get down there now before more people show up.
I'm so sorry, everyone. I completely forgot about the no magic thing.
That's okay. That's the least of our problems right now. Let's go.
Is there anything
Did you
on
see
these
me?
laying on the floor?
That was awesome.
Their bodies have been blown to pieces.
Okay.
You hurry down through the sewer grate and see that it indeed seems to, at the bottom of it, the sewer is broken open, and below you can see what appears to be a catacomb or crypt of some kind. As you drop into it from somewhere not far across the city, possibly from the nearby walls of the palace, comes the sound of a horn blowing high and piercing 3 times. Time is not on your side, but at the very least you have found the entrance to the crypts of the Hebdomad.
I would like, if possible, to use my cantrip to change. I'd like to disguise the entrance of it, if possible.
Well, yeah, I was just about to say, is there any way that we can seal the door, maybe?
The sewer grate has long since corroded away to rust, but a
I
cantrip will almost certainly cover it for anything
So
other
one
than...
couldn't use wizard lock.
No, you couldn't,
Oh, okay.
because there's no actual grate to lock.
Well, not just that. Last time you cast magic spells, you summoned something here. Maybe
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
Oh,
It's outstanding role playing of Wisdom 6. I have to know.
natural.
Bellis, do you have any healing?
We will examine the consequences of this and the necessary healing after the break. The crypts below the Hebdomarium have been abandoned for generations. Bellis, the Hebdomad included gods such as Wesmarin of the Dreaming Eye, Demetarian, Calisturium, Sunamaris. 3 others, their names now lost. As you make your way through the winding subterranean passages, you realize rapidly it is as much a labyrinth down here as a city above. Undercrofts and basements, crypts, mausolea from the temples, all intersecting, joined through side passages and antechambers.
This is all part of the bridge, eh?
This is all carved into the bridge. Yeah.
Is there any illumination down here?
Here and there are holes in the street above where cobbles have come away, or the bridge itself has fissured open and shafts of dusty light descend from overhead. But
Can I
other than
pick
that,
up
no, it's very gloomy.
maybe like a rock on the floor or something and cast light on it?
Sure.
Okay. And before we go any further, I sort of turn to the group and I say, was anybody hurt?
No.
I was.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to use my Song of Rest and...
Cantamos.
Okay. Alright, you guys get... whoever's been hurt, you get 8 hit points back, and along with that, a very lovely poem. Secret mission, they said. Don't alert the magic cops, they said. But no. The murder hobos remain the dumbest bitches in Torlek.
That doesn't rhyme.
Doesn't have to. It's slam poetry.
Wow, I feel so rested.
Yeah, I feel much better now.
Hatchu instead of a
Thanks,
haiku.
Abel.
I almost
Yeah,
feel like
you're right.
I've been like buffed and then debuffed.
You're quite aggressively healed. Shanta, that puts you on 17 and Jadarian on 45.
Tough love.
How badly hurt is Shanta? Because she looks
She
like
needs
she's...
another more, exactly.
I need
I'm gonna-
11 more HP.
Exactly. I'm giving her oh, that's nice. 11 hit points of healing.
Oh, that's perfect. Thank you.
Exactly 11.
Shanta, the sword blows from the worm priests fade, leaving not even scars.
Do I feel that casting
No.
a cantrip will alert like dragon priests and stuff, even like light?
You've no idea. You don't know how they're doing it.
I casted it on the grate outside, and then the lights, and we haven't heard from them yet, so fingers crossed.
It's dragon magic. And it's some pretty serious magic as well.
Yeah.
So onward you press. There's an entire subterranean plaza that you pass through. You can see inscriptions. They must date back to before the Night of No Stars, showing the old pantheon. 7 of them arrayed around a stylized image of the bridge city itself, shining, gleaming, not stinking of shit. You're basically wandering about, really, in the dark, or semi-dark, illuminated by Avel's glowing rock. Not really quite sure where you should be going. A noise up ahead, sound of thunder, and a soft blowing breeze. Light, daylight, quite a lot of it. Eventually, moving from the subterranean plaza down a broad set of steps, you come to a part where you must be fairly low within the bridge itself now. The rock has dropped away, and there is an open chasm. Down below, you can see the churning winds of the eternal tempest. From above, with the city not in the way, you get a good view of it. The great maelstrom, slowly churning, turning in the depths of the canyon. Immense storm winds, a slow gyre. And
Do we know? Sorry, do we know
Darkening.
why or how this came to be? Maybe I know, or has it just been there forever?
Okay. You're level 8 now, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Legend has it that before the Night of No Stars, right, 1,000 years before the Night of No Stars, the storm started up. Legend has it that dragons live within the storm. Legend has it that they are descended from the last born of the Evangian. They are the brood of her last born. The Evangian, however, is one of the new gods who didn't come into being until after the Night of No Stars.
Right.
They're descended from someone from their future. And out of this comes the whole complicated myth that somehow the storm leads back to the past. Aldrich, actually, I'll need a d20 from you now, please.
10?
Spot on, the perfect roll for your danger sense.
Oh.
Oh.
I've got danger sense as well, Mark.
And I have a surprise thing with.
Is it a cake?
It's that
Then
you
I don't
cannot
wanna
be
know.
surprised, or very difficult.
You hear Aldrich, a low murmur of voices up ahead.
Okay, I immediately hold up my fist and tell people to move to the side.
Okay, behind you, Dratic likewise clenches his fist. Chanta, to hold your men back. What's that, Lee?
It's my Father's Day
Drugs.
present.
Oh, Father's Day present.
Ooh.
Got loads of fizzy
Oh.
sweets.
Oh, nice.
This is your Father's Day present, Dad.
TPKs are the best presents.
Oh, a joy.
You fall still and silent immediately. Avril, you're aware that the light from your rock will be...
Can I
Well,
hide it
there's-
in my robes?
Yeah, straight away.
Nothing to
I-
see here.
I tap Tarvo on the shoulder.
I know. And he
I,
flattens himself against the wall.
Bellis goes invisible.
We're just casting spells whenever I see. Very nice.
No, hers is a thing, I think.
Good.
Tarvo comes back a moment later. There's 3 of them. A worm-born, a tiefling, and a skinny wee dwarf.
Any idea who? Any markings? Any identifying?
No, they're not in uniforms or tabards or nothing. They're setting up candles. 2 of them are setting up candles. One of them's sweeping the floor.
Some kind of ritual.
They may live down here. Might be just refugees. Could be anyone.
Or
A worm
they-
priest.
Are they armed?
No, a worm-born.
Oh.
they might be worshipping
Dagger.
the god.
Daggers, aye. The dwarf's got a cudgel. He's got it's leaning against an old bit of broken stone.
Are there? So what is up ahead anyway? Like a room or just more of this corridor?
It looks like well, it looks like a sort of shrine, I think.
Okay. Is that what we're looking for, Bellis?
Maybe Avel can do her talking now.
Yes, maybe he can do his talking.
What do we know? I of course extensively questioned the elf. What exactly did she tell us about here underneath here? Where would it be?
She said in the crypts below the Hebdomarium.
And she couldn't
She,
be more
she
specific.
didn't have a specific location. You get the impression that actually she'd never been to the specific location.
Okay.
It's for Panda. I know she's sulking because she hasn't got no sweets. There's a dummy.
Okay, well maybe Okay, here's my idea. If Bellis, you're invisible, maybe I go up ahead, try to negotiate or just see what they want, and if things go badly, maybe you can back me up or someone else.
I can also turn invisible if you need more backup.
Yeah, I'm just saying maybe one, and we'll see.
Does that
Pro-
entail
Problem.
invoking the arcane? Chanta.
It's my major witchery, so I don't know.
No, it'd be a spell-like ability then, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, part of her tiefling blood.
Is Tarvo able to hide in shadows?
Yes. I think between Tarvo
So maybe-
and Chanta is probably best.
So maybe I go with Tarvo.
Aye, okay.
Okay.
I'll get close and cover you.
I'll stay with Aldrich.
Okay. You guys, please, for the love of all things holy, stay here. Unless I say so. Okay?
Died and put you in charge.
Are we all clear here, sir?
Halric, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's dead.
Well, yeah.
And he put him in charge.
I mean, we could all hold hands and make sure not one of us runs away.
Just please, just
I'm not holding anyone's
stay, okay? Okay. Right,
Okay.
what I'm going to do is if any handle of any of my weapons is showing, I just conceal them with like the cloak that I'm wearing so they don't think I'm a threat. And I just saunter up the
Okay. Well, yeah, complete shock. The Wormborn, particularly twitchy, quite literally stumbles backwards and whips his dagger out.
Whoa! Oh, hello.
The tiefling raises his hands like you, and the dwarf runs and grabs hold of the cudgel and spins to face you.
Hey, no, friend, I'm a friend. I really mean no harm.
So you can see candles have been arrayed all around the room. The broken bit of stone that Tava was talking about is actually, looks like an old split altar.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want any trouble, the tiefling says.
I don't either.
Then we haven't seen you. You haven't seen us. Agreed?
Could you maybe say that about 5 other people? No, 10 other people?
What?
And that's the moment where
What?
Aldrich and
What?
Jadarian come in shooting and
No, please, just stay where you are, for God's sake.
How many of you are there? The dwarf says. There are 10 of you down here. Who sent you?
Wait, hold on. Out of character, I gotta count. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, right? Am I wrong? Or about 11 of us, yeah?
Yeah, thereabouts.
Okay.
Six henchmen and us.
Yeah, and but Tarbo as well.
So it's
Who sent you?
No one sent us. I and
Why are you
maybe.
here?
Actually, it's funny you ask. I'm actually part of the Damarish committee on maintaining the crypts. We're slightly worried, as you know, the city is built on top of a bridge, and these crypts are directly built into the stone. And well, over time, perhaps so many holes in the rock, things become a little bit, unstable. So I'm just here
You're
with the
dressed
regulations.
like, the Wormborn says, you're dressed like, and you sound like someone from the south. You Kashigari.
Yes. Funny that I was hired as an external, yes. Externally sourced, as you say, for my expertise.
All right. Wormborn slides his weapon back into its sheath. Dolgin, put the cudgel down.
May I ask, just out of curiosity, what you're doing here? Do you perhaps have a permit to be down here?
They don't offer permits for what we're doing down here. And I'm not entirely sure there is such a thing as the Committee for the Preservation of the Crypts.
Well, how would you know? Are you a master of committees? Are you aware of this sort of information off the top of your head? Perhaps like the professional that I am?
I live in the Hebdomarium, and the days when anybody cared about what happened down here are long gone.
Well, funny you should say that, because times are changing. There's a new leader on the throne, and he's a little bit more concerned about whether or not his city falls into the canyon.
The dwarf steps forward. You sent by the Emperor.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
No, Dolgin. He's lying. We don't care why you're here. I think we can come to an understanding, yes?
Yes, but are you going to be amicable to my entire party?
The Hebdomad taught. The Hebdomad teach that we are all one. Calisturian, the all-in-one, said thus.
Very good.
And there are still some of us here who remember.
My name's Avel Bryn.
Of House Valandor.
No, not related.
I see. We heard of what you did here last year. The demon you fought.
No, that wasn't me.
Well, if it were, you would have our undying gratitude.
Perhaps it was me, just a little bit, with a few help of other people.
Maybe it was me. I don't know.
Maybe it was me.
Just a little bit.
The dwarf puts his cudgel down in front of him and kind of leans on it. A Valandor war party here in Damadesh.
I step into view.
Me too.
I come in shooting.
Yeah, you guys might as well just... Yeah,
Chanta's head peeks around the corner and she kind of like waves a little bit. And then when she sees it's okay, then she kind of comes out.
Tava quite literally appears from behind the altar.
Yeah. I'm sorry for maybe not being entirely truthful to how many of us there were originally, but I hope you understand.
They look at the considerable size of your group. The Wormborn. Have you come to stop him?
Maybe.
To dethrone?
It depends on a number of things.
We have prayed for this day. We have prayed for it so very much.
Yes.
Do you
Well,
know
then-
the layout of these catacombs?
We have good understanding of crypts, yes, Dolgin says. He spots Drazak.
Perchance.
Goh we chun. Drazak bows. Goh we chun.
Perhaps you might know a little something about a particular somebody that might be in these crypts.
I see, the tiefling says. You're looking for allies.
Maybe.
Yes. And guides.
You know, it's an unusual place to find songbirds. But if one knows where to look, yes, I suppose one might.
And I'm guessing you know.
As Kastavik said, we have prayed for this day. And from beyond the heavens, the Hebdomad have answered us. I will show you the way.
Thank you.
That would be very helpful.
Thank you
Do
so
you-
much.
Have a name, perhaps?
My name is Tomo Jal.
Well, Tomo Zhao, you see us through this, and we'll be in your debt.
Oh,
Is that the
Yes.
tiefling?
yeah.
Question to the DM: the shrine. Do I recognize potentially what they're praying to?
You can see the emblems of the Hebdomad, the 7 gods of Imperial Torlek from before the Night of No Stars.
Right.
They're not the tiefling gods.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, any double-headed monkey gods, and we start.
There are no double-headed monkey gods now.
Cool. That's what we like to hear.
That's good.
I also like how they didn't mention
Any skull motifs also right out.
any human effigies.
Yep.
Yeah, you know,
Anything.
anything with dragon shapes. No.
Mm.
A shrine to Aldrich. No, wait, that's my room. Oops.
Want to
And
keep that one
mine.
maybe under wraps.
And I thought we were going to keep that quiet, Jadarian.
Very well, Dolgan says. Kastovix and I, we stay here and wait for your return, Tomo. If you think it's safe, Tomo, we can trust you, can't we? The Wormborn says, looking at all of you.
Most certainly. My friends and I, we won't do you any harm.
So Wormborn, is that the race of the Worm Priests?
Yes.
And this is the first one we've ever seen without being a priest, correct?
No, we would have seen some in Damarish, right? Just
Yeah,
walking
you've seen
around.
some. You've seen walking. I mentioned some
Okay.
walking around the streets and stuff, but it's the first one that you've had a proper interaction with that didn't involve killing and exploding. Yeah.
God.
So,
This way, then, Tomo says.
Lead on.
It is not far.
Okay. And as we're walking, I sort of turn to the rest of the party and I go, now this is what happens when you don't stab first and ask questions later.
Punch Avel on the shoulder.
You forgot to do the little dance with the I told you so thing. You know?
Yeah, well, I'm doing it in my head. Okay? I'm too proud to do that in real life.
As you're saying, I'm too proud. Chanter's doing it. Like.
Jadarian's going to keep an eye on the tiefling.
I can just picture Avel walking down the street strutting his stuff like some.
I'm absolutely just
some person walking down the catwalk.
prancing my ass off.
I can see
Yeah.
the pants she's wearing with it.
And your new
Yeah.
puffling pants, yes.
Art thou nasty?
They call it the Coiling Cavern, Tomo says. It's not far from here. Most
Is it
don't.
safe? Is it safe to cast arcane spells?
Rarely. Here in Damarash? Rarely.
What?
Down
What?
here.
How do they tell? Like, what exactly is it that triggers it? Does anybody know?
It's the casting of a spell.
Just any spell?
Yeah, but how are they able to detect that specifically?
Well, he'll tell us
Dra-
if we let him.
Dragon magic of surpassing potency. I believe that the priests themselves serve as conduits for the Dragon Emperor. Some of them have the ability to call upon miracles that makes them sensitive. And within a certain radius of the recipient of this miracle, they can feel the disturbances that are caused by uses of the demotic tongue and other arcane languages.
So
but
if
you
there
say that
aren't
there are-
any...
you say that there are moments that you actually can cast or not.
Yes, well, that would be when one of the worm priests is nowhere nearby.
Yeah, I was going to say, if they're not nearby, then we're fine.
How
There
does it
might
work
not be
about?
some nearby right now.
Well,
But
how-
what's
Have
the
you-
radius of...
and does it travel
nearby?
underground?
Yeah.
Oh, is it, yes, 2 or 3 dimensional? I don't know. Have you had trouble with this?
Yes.
Maybe a little bit.
You
And
know,
how did you get away?
Killed
They
them.
died.
We killed the worm priests.
You killed them?
Yes.
Well, they. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish it was different, but
we didn't want to.
Oh.
is that a problem?
Go. That passage there, follow it for 100 yards, a left and then a right. And you will hear the wind that comes from the Corning Cavern.
Why
Oh,
do you
no,
have to
no,
go
this-
now?
Why are you so worried? What happens?
Well, they will be coming. They won't let you get away with it.
Oh,
They
is
will
that
be
what the
coming.
horns were?
Oh my goodness.
You-
What have you done? What have
look.
you done?
Look, whatever happened, we are grateful for this information you've given us. If you ever,
Yes, thank
you
you,
or your
yes,
friends, if you
very
ever
good,
need
thank
to
you.
take refuge, come to Falindor. You will be welcomed.
Yeah. You
Get
can
your
see
friends, get
panic
them out of
going
here.
between his eyes, and he turns.
Now go. Get
without
out.
even a goodbye, runs back the way he came.
We have crypts at Valandor you can look after.
Guys, for God's sake.
They're really passionate about them.
So this is good.
Okay, let's move.
We have
Yeah.
better idea how it functions now.
You follow then Tomo's directions.
Yes.
100 yards, a left,
Yes.
and then a right.
Yeah, make sure that the Tarvo is ahead, making sure that we don't step in anything untoward.
Well, you hear the wind. A low moaning, as if, well, blowing across the top of a bottle. It's deeper and more pervasive. And before long, you start to feel it in the rocks beneath your feet. And realize there must be some large opening for the wind to be blowing across. Up ahead, the passageway opens up. And into the coiling cavern. And you should be able to see the entrance of it here. So you can see where it says passage.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's where you come in. Ahead of you, the passageway runs under a rock overhang. And beyond that, you can see on the left-hand side a cliff wall, and on the right, it drops down through a rift that opens out into the canyon below. And it's from there that the noise is rising as the storm winds rush across the bottom of the opening.
Perhaps
creating
we should
this-
tie ourselves together.
Okay, well, on... Have I got the right thing here? Yes,
Just
there.
in case
Okay,
one of us
so
falls.
on top here, where I'm pinging. Bing.
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay. There are 2 figures, men from the looks of it, heavy robes, cowls pulled half down, crossbows at the ready as you step in. That's far enough. And they, when they see the size of your group, one of them shouts off to the side of the overhang. Visitors, lots of them. Stay your ground, the other one shouts.
Okay.
What do you guys do?
I put up my hands once again and I say, we're not here to cause you any trouble.
You're causing yourself trouble. Turn around. There's nothing for you here.
And why is that? Who, can I ask, are you?
A friend giving you friendly advice. So, friend, be about your business. There's nothing for you here.
We're in the market to buy some songbirds.
Four more of them, moments later, come running out onto the platform, onto the overhang, with crossbows, drop down, and each of them puts down a pot of something next to them. All crouched. Into view walks a figure in a long, grey, well, it's like a long open coat with a hood. Under the hood, There is no face. Simply a smooth stretch of skin. Not like not contoured with nose or mouth, just simply like a convex bowl. But words emerge from the featureless face, nevertheless. What songbirds do you seek here in the dark?
Well, those that sing in the night, of course.
You know your lives are forfeit for coming here. You have sought death and you have found it.
Well, we presumed that songbirds like to sing, and we are absolutely interested in hearing its song.
The songs are your funeral dirges. If it pleases you, say the... Speak on, Moonwhite.
I happen to be an expert at those.
Why have you come? Grant me this before you die.
To make a deal.
For what?
There is a worm we both desire for the bird to eat.
Songbird sings towards a star, and we're interested in seeing that star.
What are the rest of you doing? Are you all stepped into view?
Yeah, I'll be in view. I'll be ready though.
We just want to talk.
If they make a move, I'm going to cast a spell.
The faceless figure cocks its head to one side, as if listening to something. Walk forward. Follow the cavern around and come to me.
I look at Aldrich.
Yeah, Charlotte does too. She's like, I'm stepping and stepping until someone else steps.
Can I get a danger sense?
You don't even need to roll. You are in extreme danger here. Whatever they've got in those pots, you're not sure what it is. But
that's horrible, yes, I'm sure.
there might be something horrible. The half a dozen people with heavy crossbows, if they focused fired, they would probably drop even you. Those things would punch, at this range, punch holes clean through your armor.
I'd say
Gods alone knows what that faceless thing can do.
I'd say we do what they want.
He
Let's-
won't
let's-
hurt us.
We don't know that.
Okay.
Look, let's go. For the very least, we'll be up there with him when it goes wrong. Come on.
Yeah. Let's move out.
Okay. So let's...
Chanta stays very close by to
Let's
Aldrich
do a bit more
because she
here.
is afraid.
As you pass under the overhang, you get to see some more of the cavern beyond. Okay, for some reason the reveal areas isn't working. Go.
Okay.
And see why it is indeed called the Coiling Cavern.
I'm afraid.
The pathway curves around and up, cradling two great shafts that drop down toward the storm below.
I assume light is coming out of there, or is it?
Yeah, there is, and you can see little shafts of light coming down over here from rents up above. On this area here, where I'm pinging now, on this central area here, and up here, there are more of the guards with their dark leather armor, their heavy robes, their crossbows. They remind you, their little masks. They remind you, those cowled guards everywhere. And over here, where I'm pinging now, boing, boing, two more of those individuals in the long kind of leather coats with the hoods and the featureless faces. You imagine they must be watching you.
Those featureless faces, do I recognize anything of them? Do I
You have
recognize? Can I place that with something?
No idea what that
Creatures or-
is.
It's kind of the point of featureless, I imagine.
No idea what it
maybe it's a creature.
But you're
or-
saying there's more than one of those individuals.
You can see three of them now. There was one that's standing on the bridge, and two
Okay.
more over on this side over here.
Right.
I look at their limbs. What do their limbs look like? Their hands and their.
Human, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So it might just be a spell or something, or a magical item which is doing this.
Okay.
No.
Take it. We head over
Fair enough.
as non-offensively
you-
as possible.
Work your way cautiously around the ledge.
Carl, I
looking down,
sent you a message.
seeing the storm far, far below.
Zoom chat.
Ah, see. That's what I was thinking, but clearly not.
When you get to the to this part over here, yeah, they turn with their whole bodies and watch you go past, and then walk up behind you.
Oh, we don't
You're
have
in-
much of a choice.
Your entire group is fairly well surrounded. Should it come to a fight, you'd certainly take a few of them with you before you went down. And then finally, and across the bridge, and the one who met you on the bridge leads you into a small chamber at its end. There, a fourth one of them stands, likewise regarding you with a featureless expression. But to be honest, that's not the thing that catches her attention the most. At the back of that little alcove, there's a large, ornate chair. And sitting in it is this.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Brilliant
fantastic.
energy, shimmering within its undead face.
Well, that's not what I was expecting to see.
No.
Completely motionless, cradled in its hands here, is the Star of Mopala.
You're kidding me.
Is he translucent or is he solid?
He's solid, but with all this light kind of oozing out from inside him. And a coldness that you can feel. In fact, as you take your steps into the chamber, your breath plumes on the air.
Does Bellis have any idea what kind of undead this is?
Yeah, likewise.
She has. I'm presuming some considerable knowledge on undead. So.
You know, there's a horrible part of you that wants it not to be,
A lich.
but you're fairly certain it's a lich.
Hello.
Shut up.
Stop making friends with monsters.
Stop it.
Of the faceless figures who's actually standing not far from where the lich is, cocked its head. Bellis. It is good to see you again. And the figure runs its hands over its face.
It's what's the name? Your mentor.
Bone mother.
Yeah.
Laura.
And
Oh,
indeed,
great.
at long last,
Is that the nightingale?
Queen.
come face to face with Bone Mother Talora.
Finally.
Welcome, Bellis, to the Nightingale Court. We are glad to receive you in this our time of mutual need. You are fortunate that Lord Aldrich wears the Valandor crest. It saved you this day. I was not there to see you. My associates might have dealt with you harshly.
I was prepared for that.
I taught you well,
So you did.
so I believed. I believed the same of Hagen. He was a disappointment.
Nevertheless, you taught him well too.
Yes, well enough for him to live.
Mm-hmm. That's what it's about, survival.
It is indeed.
Shall we discuss the kind of survival that we all need?
If you are able to work with us, we can come to an agreement. We are the Nightingale Court. We live to defend the realm.
What kind of an agreement would cause you to be willing to provide us with that?
Lord Slashest has plans for the phylactery. He is, as you might expect, an expert in such things.
Yes.
What can you offer that he cannot?
I'm sure I can offer many things, but I would need to know what.
We just want it destroyed.
What is it that you need?
Destroying it will return the Emperor's spirit to its body, nothing more.
Yeah, see? Well, then we have something to discuss. Because then it needs to be killed, doesn't it?
Slashest studies the phylactery. He hopes to make it his own.
As in make it his own phylactery.
From there, he can drive Vorum Cathriax's spirit from his body.
Right. Interesting. So why were you trying to peddle it away to the demons? You see the incongruency of your argument here, right?
Slashest was reluctant to aid us. But it has been several months since the misfortunate events in Torlag. We have had opportunity to convince him.
Knowing you, you're very convincing.
I try. I regret that we were forced to use Freya in the way that we did. But
Why didn't you think it's safe in our hands?
Jadarian has made that quite clear. You would have destroyed it.
And then you thought that would leave you with any form of control over the Emperor.
Control. No simple way to destroy him. He would have made another.
Unless you time it well and you kill him, but he doesn't get the chance and the time to do it. That's our plan.
You believe that you have the ability to lay low something as powerful as the Emperor?
Personally, no.
No.
But we have, of course, the ability to bring together a coalition that can.
Ah, yes, your army.
That's for after the dragon. But your plan sounds interesting too. Whatever it takes, huh?
Who is? I take it Lord Slashest is the man
It's
on
the ally of the Nightingale, and I point at.
Is this Lich figure in front of us, right?
He is the walking lord, yes.
It's not the Nightingale.
It's not dark enough, is it?
He is not the Nightingale.
No.
No.
He's an ally of the Nightingale.
Is it dark enough?
I get the feeling that there is no the Nightingale. I think there are many.
Right, so.
Yeah.
The legend has more potency when it is a singular figure stalking the night.
It's a conceptual idea, yes.
Yeah, this is a
Captain Pirate.
Dread Pirate Roberts.
Pirate Roberts.
So you have the alternative is to hand you to give it to let you keep this star so that you can
The Lord
have-
Slashest will use it as its phylactery and use it actually to drive out the dragon from its own current form.
But what's forgive me for my ignorance, but what is Lord Slashest's intention beyond that? What does he plan to do once he has driven this?
To preserve my city.
This is his city.
Come again, sir?
This
To
is
preserve a
his city.
city.
Yes.
He's the one who put the city on the map.
Okay.
And he's still
To
preserving it.
safeguard my grandchildren.
I suppose the question for us is, we put a dragon on the throne. Are we willing to give that same power to a lich, even if it's only over a city?
The Lich is not interested in ruling this empire.
But Damaresh?
So
Okay.
Who are your grandchildren?
Yeah.
I currently have 6,427 descendants in that city above.
Wow. You must have been quite the ladies' man.
So basically, the Lich doesn't want to have anything. He
There's
just
a
wants to live
rush of air across the chamber, and boom, boom, boom. You see a shimmer of green energy as the dimensional folding opens, and armed warriors in the black and gold of the Paragon Legion, the Emperor's personal guard, charge in. Around the chamber, worm priests teleport in.
Is there enough room for all those people?
Oh, for the love of God, fuck
They
off.
clearly like 90% of them teleport over open things and just fall to their deaths, right?
You count maybe a dozen worm priests around the exterior of the cavern. the dimensional folding opens. Let me go back to the map quickly for you.
So you're talking about the larger cavern, not just the chamber we're in.
Yeah, around this outside here, where I, whoops, that one. Around here, this outside area here, they're appearing. The Worm Priests appear all around out there.
Gotcha.
Okay, and it's here that the dimensional folding opens, as the Paragon Guard start to race their way across the bridge.
Okay. How many of them are there?
Maybe 20 of the guards and 10 Worm Priests.
Okay. Just a quick glance, danger sense wise, whatever, and also just my military knowledge. How many people could fight abreast on this board?
Well, one, maybe two, if they were using stabbing weapons.
I'm gonna use that.
Okay, well,
Okay.
let's take an initiative roll here, and we're not gonna do it every round. This will be for the whole combat, because it's not a rapidly changing environment. Okay. Tarbo, Jesus, Tarbo. Okay, Aldrich.
8.
Bellis.
7.
Nievin. Chanta.
6.
Nievin.
Jadarian.
9.
9.
9.
Yeah.
Noise.
Ja.
Abel.
6.
A 6.
I speak Dutch, isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Echt niet.
Echt wel.
Yeah, whatever that means, yeah.
Jadarian.
What's that?
Gamma.
Does that mean my go?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, he will whisper the word Heldalgol and disappear.
Okay.
And move 30 foot while invisible.
Okay, and what, are you coming out onto the bridge?
No, more to get some cover. Maybe sort of here, behind this rock.
Ping that again, please. Yeah, gotcha. Okay, and Aldrich.
Aldrich is going to stand in the opening of that cavern, so that
Yes.
he's still on the sort of flanked by rock,
Yeah.
and he's going to set his Rancer to receive a charge.
Okay, nice. So you're waiting until something happens for you. All right.
But my initiative, no, I already said my initiative. So.
Yeah. Okay, and Bellis and the Paragon Legion at the same time.
Improved invisibility and running towards Slashest.
Okay, well, so you get to the side of where Slashest is almost immediately.
Yes.
Okay. Right. Right, so the Paragon Legion in a tight wedge.
Out of the range, not in between, not staying in between Slashest and anybody shooting at him.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, okay.
They'll hit Aldrich first anyway.
Okay.
Tight wedge, hurtle down the bridge toward. At this point, the Gallows Brotherhood start firing with their crossbows or drop into position to do so. Nightingale's troops likewise race to meet them, and there is a mighty clash as the Paragon troops are caught in brutal melee. 3 of them manage to break through and continue racing onward toward Aldrich. The others are locked in hand-to-hand combat with the Nightingale's guards. Paragon troops are, you can see almost immediately, Aldrich are excellent combatants. But the Nightingale warriors, well, you've seen how Hagen fights, sneaky, devious, and deeply skilled themselves. 2 different styles locked in toe-to-toe melee with each other. Make an attack roll against the first one, please, as he kindly throws himself onto the end of your Rancer.
It's a natural 20.
Okay.
That's
All right.
double damage as well.
Yeah,
I'm
give me
sorry.
double.
Is it double or triple? I don't know.
It's double. Double max damage, please.
Okay, double max damage is 17 times 2, so 35. 34
Okay.
with
yeah,
one
fine.
hit.
Yeah. Right through the middle.
And that's where activate the extendo knives.
He thoroughly impales himself at the end of the Rancer as you hear it kind of through his armor, comes out the back, and he dies flailing and screaming on the end of your pointy stick.
Do I get my other attacks, or is that just one thing?
That's your one thing, yes. That's
Okay.
charge.
Okay.
His companions skirt around the side of his body and lay into you with their great axes.
Bob and weave.
Yeah. Okay. You avoid out of the 4 blows that come raining down in your direction. 2 of them. The other 2 strike home.
Yeah.
15, 25 damage.
Shit, man.
Puts you on 43. But you're holding the line. They're currently at least unable to get past you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that was them. Bellis, you've done your action. Shanta and the Worm Priests and Avil. Avil, you're probably first there.
You're muted.
Okay, so in terms of like where everybody is, would you say that where are we again on this map?
You guys are up. You guys are here.
Yeah. So would you is Aldrich about here then?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and beyond him, apart from the 2 guys that are fighting him, who is the closest?
Along the bridge itself, there is a mass tangled melee of the Paragon Legion and the Nightingale Guards.
Anybody here on this central platform?
Nightingale Guards who are running out towards Worm Priests.
And the Worm Priests are here?
The Worm Priests are arrayed around the outside of the cavern, like this, around here.
Okay, so if I cast a lightning bolt in a line along here.
Yeah, you'll get 4 of them. 4 out of the 10.
Well, I cast lightning bolt then. I sort of run to about here on the ledge. And
Crouch down behind your brother and...
Yep.
Okay, 8d6 please.
Okay.
And I'll roll some saves. 4.
Right. D6. I only have 3.
10.
Wait, I can't do maths. Hold on. I got
2 fails, 2 passes.
I got 6, 4, 1. 5, 6, 3. How many is that?
20, that's 24.
Okay, how many dice do I have to roll?
Another 2.
Okay. And 7.
Oh, okay, right. Nice.
Sorry, I'm bad at maths.
Okay. All right. The lightning bolt streaks down the edge of the cavern, sending static electricity crackling up the walls in all directions. It blows 2 of them clean off their feet. The other 2 at the back see it coming, throw themselves flat. It still scorches them across their backs. 2 make their saves, 2 fail. Bellis. Sorry, not Bellis. Shanta, sorry.
New round already?
No, yeah. Shanta.
I'm gonna cast the Minor Globe of Invulnerability here, where Aldrich and Avil.
Around them, okay.
Well, yeah, because I think that's like no one's in this room yet. that's
Yes,
an
thank
enemy.
you. I just
So-
realised that I put myself in the line of fire.
So I
thank
thought,
you.
so I want to put it at the entrance because no one's in that room yet. So I want it
Nice.
to go here, around Aldrich and Avil,
Noise.
potentially blocking the room off.
It
my
will.
intention.
It will.
Okay. Cool.
Let me just
That's
check
what I
the
want to do.
there. Yes, it will block the entrance off, so nothing can come through.
Perfect. That's what I want.
Very good. Who needs wisdom?
Who needs wisdom?
I certainly don't have any. What?
Ooh, bubble.
Ooh.
I must step outside of this. It's clearly an attack.
Okay. Talora is shouting, by the way, at this sudden attack. What have you done? What have you done bringing them here? Okay. You can see now, by the way, that the first of the Nightingale Guards are beginning to be overcome by the sheer toe-to-toe combat brutality of the Paragon Legion. Not for nothing that these are the Emperor's finest guards. The Worm Priests, those who haven't been struck by lightning straight away, the others begin casting various spells, calling upon their dragon deity to either imbue them or the Paragon Guards with holy power, and in one case at least, summon flames from the heavens above. As a flame strike erupts down right where Avil and Aldrich are standing. A 5th level spell, it goes straight through the globe of invulnerability. Can you two both make saves against spells, please?
I just did.
Okay, 8,
Okay.
10, 26.
Yeah.
Do I have to get below or above?
The number or above.
Okay, I got 14 then.
I got a 19. So.
So I
So those are
saved.
both saves? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, 13 damage each. As the flames lick around you, that puts you on 30 hit points, Aldrich.
Mhm.
And Avil, you're on also 30. Okay, the 4 who you hit with lightning bolts, they step forward and wings erupt from their backs. They take to the air and come swooping down over the top of the bridge to drop in behind Aldrich and begin to engage those of you in the chamber behind
Oh,
hand-to-hand combat.
no, don't get up.
A 1 and a 19 from the first one. Avil, you're hit once by a huge overhand hew from a two-handed sword. You take 9 damage from that. So you're on 21. And the other one comes lumbering into the chamber behind and hacks at Shanta for... there's a natural 20 and a 7, so that's 1 hit for max damage, which is 12, 17 damage straight away. The Shanta puts you on 11 hit points. Sends you staggering backwards against the side wall, bleeding copiously.
Where are my meat shields? Where are my meat shields? What are they doing?
If you want to call them back to you, you can. At the moment, they're on the bridge fighting against the Paragon Legion. If you want to get them to pull back to surround you, they will do that.
I told them
Kazakh chat. Fall back! Defend flame!
I hired you to be my meat shields. What are you doing? Why did you leave me?
Okay.
Oh, I'm stuck with idiots.
Surrounded by assholes.
Now you know how I feel. Anyway.
Tavo runs to your side and engages the Worm Priest to attack you, Avil, striking at him with a fairly hefty blow. Okay, and we're back around to Jadarian.
I'll fire 3 arrows into... I've got one knocked, so it'd be 4 arrows into the one that's just hit Chanter.
You cast a spell, so you don't have the arrow knocked.
Oh, okay, yeah. So all of these are plus 18 to hit. Roll 2 11s and a 5, so the lowest one's armor class 23.
The Worm Priest armor class 25.
Oh, okay, just 2 hits then.
Yep.
I've got a 6 and a 2, so that's 8, so 24 damage.
24. Oh, solid. Okay.
I'm invisible, and then I move from where the arrows come from.
You thwack 2 arrows straight into him. He staggers, looking around. Can't make out where you are at all. In the chamber where you are, 2 of the faithless nightingales vanish immediately. What appear to be dimension doors or teleport spells bugging out on the spot. Talora, seeing the worm priests are now behind the line, runs over. She's at your side a moment later, actually Bellis, shouting to Zlashes, "Give it to us! Give it to us!" Zlashes just kind of stares down at her. Aldrich.
Okay. First thing I say to I turn quickly to Bellis, "Medic!" And then
Bellis is busy.
and then the men that are in front of him. There's 2, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to use combat maneuvers to push them off the edge
Okay, go for it.
into the hole.
Yep.
So first one, natural 20.
Perfect. You
Second
kind
one-
of thwack. It's flying backwards. Screams. Voice fades away as the storm takes him.
And the second one is a 27 to hit. Oh no, wait. For combat maneuver, it's a 22.
22. Okay, he staggers backward, doesn't fall.
Okay, then I follow it up with the third attempt, and I get 29.
His feet are just on the edge, but manages to retain his footing.
Oh, yeah, fuck. Suckers.
Close, no cigar.
Wait, his CMD is 30? What?
These are the Paragon Legion. They're the Emperor's personal bodyguards.
Oh dear.
Talora, struggling to make Zlashes see sense, calls upon the Ghost Mother. "Undead thing," she says. "Give it to me." And rolls a 13 on her turning attempt.
Oh, that's
Which,
not good. No
yes, it is actually.
Wow!
Yes, it is.
Shit.
Yeah. She grabs the star from Zlash's hand. You're next. Yes, go ahead.
Okay. I will grab it from her hand while she does that, because she doesn't see me. I'm invisible.
Okay. Roll, please.
Go, Bellis. It's your birthday.
It's a 3. It's a miss.
Oh, okay.
I make a snatch at it, but it's nowhere near.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
But
The worm priest who's in the chamber sees what's going on, and he grabs some kind of amulet with a gem in the middle and shouts, "My lord, it is here! The star is here!" Okay, Legionnaires. Okay, more of the Nightingale troops on the bridge have fallen now. Aldrich, in any second there's going to be another 4 of those Legionnaires are going to be upon you. There's the one who's facing you, however. Strikes twice with his blade. A 2, and I can't read that one, and a 10. That hits armor class 25. That's a hit. 10, 15 damage. Puts you down to 15 hit points.
Jesus Christ.
Feints, gets under your guard, and just kind of rakes the blade up and across your chin. You can feel a chunk of bone fly loose. Blood pours down the front, symbolically staining the Valandor symbol. And the worm priests. Okay. As I said, they've landed on the bridge. One right next to you, Bellis, Avel, and one by your brother. A 15 and a 6. Avel 1 strikes against you. 5, 9, 14 damage. Leaves you on 7 hit points. You cannot stand against these things. They are the Emperor's elite here. You have riled the Hornet's Nest. And he has
Remember that
sent
TPK you wanted? You're gonna get it. Jesus Christ.
4 and a 3. Aldrich, the fates are with you as the Worm Priest who's dropped in behind you fails to land. Bellis, you see the one who's charged actually in near you and Zlashist just stands, holding his attack, waiting.
It's waiting for Bone Metal Talora.
He's waiting for something.
I'm gonna TPS out of here or I'm gonna cry.
Okay. In the chamber outside, there are more shouts and yells from the other Worm Priests, more prayers, and you can see that the Paragon Legion on the bridge, if anything, their fighting ability increases by a bit. Okay. Avel.
Jesus Christ, there's not much we can do really.
Fall back.
Yeah, honestly. I'm just...
Well, back to where?
It's Bellis.
Can I cast a web in front of the people that are in front of me, and after doing that, fall back into the chamber?
Yes, you would then fill the entire bridge and seal off the cavern that you're in with it.
Yep.
Seal off the small cavern.
Yeah.
And how many people does that leave in the cavern with us?
Doesn't matter.
That leaves 3 Worm Priests.
Okay.
So that's what you're doing, yeah?
Yep.
All right. You fill the cave mouth just in front of your brother with a mass of sticky webs covering, well, half of the cavern beyond and most of the bridge. You can actually see the web bend as the charging Paragon Legion bounce into it, stagger backwards to avoid themselves becoming stuck. You back up toward where you imagine Bellis to be, or into the cavern. There's a 1 Worm Priest back there, and the 2 that had landed on the bridge to combat you and your brother. They're in the cavern with you now. Shanta, your men have just managed to fall back now and have formed a cordon around you just before the web goes off.
Okay. Well, quick question. Fireball, will that affect web?
It will burn it, yeah.
Right, okay, then I'm going to cast Phantom Armor on myself.
Okay, good. Gives you an extra 7 points of armor.
And I just like hold, I guess, movement until like I figure out what's going to happen.
Okay. Furious fighting outside. You can't see it now. He hears shouts and yells, screams of the dying.
I want my men to fire at the Worm Priest with us, by the way.
Yeah? Okay. That's a hit. All right. 2 of the crossbow bolts of the longbow arrows, from Thea and Clea, find their mark.
Oh, they're just so equal with one another.
Mine did more damage than yours. It bloody didn't, you bitch.
Classic
Okay.
them, always in combat with one another. As I say, bleeding out.
Tarvo manages a quick slash at the back of the Worm Priest who was attacking you, Avel, dealing a solid blow. The Worm Priest steps back so he doesn't have either of you on either side, making sure that he can see both combatants. And Jajarian.
He will look. Obviously, the one that was called upon, he's a lord.
Yeah.
Is he casting a spell?
No, he appears to be waiting for something.
Have I got any idea what? I mean, obviously, is he summoning or?
No, he's just waiting, looking at Talora.
Oh
What are you doing?
no, is this
Disruptive.
actually Talora?
I will shoot him.
Okay. He's armor class 25.
So 12. And a 16. So 12's armor class 30. So 3 hits.
Yep. Give me damage.
Oh, nice. That's a max and a 5. So that is 16 plus 13.
Second arrow drops him.
Okay, the next one will go on to the one behind Avel then. Avel.
Yep.
And that is one off max, which is 15 damage.
Okay. The worm priest who you felled hits the ground, kind of just a few feet away from Zlashest and Talora and possibly Bellis, and you can see a tiny little blue fires start to run back and forward across his body.
Can I do something else with my move action?
What is it?
I place my hand upon him. Can I? Is my ring of hidden step personal, or can I do it to someone else?
Just you.
I can't take anyone with me.
It's just you.
Okay.
I mean, you
Sorry,
can.
I missed that last bit.
It's whomever you can carry. So if you can, what's your strength?
11.
11. No.
No.
Could I held my movement.
Okay,
Could I aid him moving the body out of our so it doesn't blow up?
The web is in the way.
You're right.
I was going to dimension door him out.
Do we have
So
actions,
not-
or are we
nothing?
still in sequence?
We are in sequence. I'm waiting for if
If I can't do that, then I can't do that. Then I would move and take cover.
Okay, Aldrich. At the same time as you take your action, by the way, Talora suddenly her head throws backwards. There's a lurid light gleams in the gem, and you realize now what's going on. Well, both spellcasters. Talora fails her saving throw.
Oh, fuck.
The light flares in her eyes. Aldrich.
Okay, I need a bit of a sit rep because I have no idea what's
Okay.
going on.
You guys are in the small.
I know where we are, and whether there's a web sealing it off. There's nobody
web
coming
sealing
in.
it off.
Yeah.
Right. There are 2 worm priests in there with you,
Yeah.
and Talora is holding the phylactery. Okay, which she turns Lashes to get it off him. Right. Light has just filled the phylactery, and she's given a horrible scream, and that light is now gone into her eyes.
Okay, so clearly there's some shit going down there. The worm priests, are they focused on Talora?
No, they're focused on you and your brother.
Well, Christ. All right, well, I attack the worm priests. That's all I got.
Okay.
Not evil either. I would have done more damage otherwise.
I know. The first attack. I'll attack the whichever one looks least injured first. That's a
The one who's attacking you is uninjured, so.
okay. That's a 29 to hit. He takes 15 points of damage. The second attack hits armor class 25.
Spot on.
He gets 14 points of damage.
Okay.
I'm sorry, 60. I rolled a 6, so it's 15 points of damage as well. And then
You're
the last,
tearing huge chunks out of him.
and then the last attack is a hits armor class 36. Sorry, and that's 13 points of damage.
Okay. He is grievously injured. 2 massive blows and a solid half strike. And staggers sideways, dark blood sputtering from his draconic mouth. Bellis.
Bellis, that Star of Mopolar is still affecting, or is it now inert?
There's no light in it now, but she's holding it in her hand.
Okay. I I grab hold of it while she's being overcome by this thing.
Yep. Okay. You can grab it with a +4 to hit.
Okay. I need to grab it. It's only one way to go. That's 17.
Yes. You snatch it from her hand.
Is that okay? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Anything else?
I immediately drop it into the hypergeometric box.
Okay. All right. Leaves you in a locked outside. 2 worm priests. Aldrich, the one who you've dealt crippling injuries to, slashes at you twice. Armor class 26. That's a hit. A natural 20. So that's 9, 21.
And then I move away out of her sight.
Okay.
Behind the throne or something, somewhere where she can't directly see me, because I'm still invisible. Eh?
Yep.
It's improved invisibility.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. The first blow cuts Aldrich's leg basically out from underneath him. Slashes him across the back. He goes down on one knee, reverses his grip.
Your sound just dropped.
Your sound just cut out.
Yeah, I just unplugged myself. And then drives the blade right down through his collarbone and into his body. Twists it there.
Shanta just screams, like, just, oh god.
When he pulls it loose, Aldrich sits there for several moments before his body hits the floor. The second one, not as badly injured, turns on you, Avel. Dice. 1 hit. 8, 13.
Well, I'm down.
You dodge the first blow, but not the second. Blood fountains from Avel's mouth, and he slumps. Brothers next to each other, staring sightlessly at the cavern above. More crackling energy comes from the downed worm priest. Shanta.
Oh my god. I all my close range shit is so weak. Would lightning destroy the web?
It would put a hole through the middle of it.
I don't. I'm gonna hold my action of the lightning wand to shoot at the worm priest in the direction of down the corridor if he tries to attack me. And I just look at Bone Mother Talora and the Lich, and I just say, if you can do something, please just do it.
Tavo, dashing tears from his eyes. It was not meant to be you! It wasn't meant to be you! He says, hurls himself at the worm priest who has just felled Avel. 16. 6. It's a solid blow, but the worm priest takes it. Both of them now, injured near to death, a death they don't fear. Shanta, your men charge, striking at the enemy. That's 1 hit out of the 6. Only 1 blow lands. And it's only a glancing blow as well. Okay, you need to take an action now, or you lose it because it's the end of the round.
the health potions. Aldrich carries one, I think.
Yep.
I go over to him, taking cover by my men who are attacking him, and I just try and find it, and I just try and shove the health potion.
You pour it into his mouth. It overflows and runs down his cheeks. Jadarian.
I shoot the worm priest. Which one's injured? More injured? I can't tell.
You can't tell. They all look. They're within a hit point of each other.
I'll shoot the first one. That is 28. That is 14 damage.
Kills him. He drops, the arrow sticking right through his throat.
Next one. That is 25. That's on the dot, isn't it? I believe.
Yep.
Oh, that's nice. That is 15 damage again.
Likewise.
Both
He is
dead.
felled. Yes.
And then the last arrow I shoot at Mother Telorian in the head.
Go on then.
That is an armor class 26.
It hits her.
Really?
Yep.
And roll damage. Was that a called shot or was it?
You called shot for extra damage, yeah.
Okay. So what does that mean?
You can give me just max damage.
Okay, 16 then.
Okay. The arrow strikes her straight in the side of the head. She staggers backwards. Golden blood pours from the wound. Aldrich's down.
I'll move over towards Avel.
She strides toward the web and with a snapping word of draconic dispels it. Beyond, you can see the Paragon Legion have orbit slaughtered the few Nightingale guards who remained. And she simply steps off the edge and drops from sight down towards the storm. Bellis.
I move towards where Avel and
Yeah,
Aldrich are lying,
you're right. You're right with them.
and I cast a group healing.
Okay.
Oop. So that is 27.
27.
Yes.
Okay. Aldrich, that puts you on 19.
Wait, I'm not dead?
Puts you on 20. No, but when you're below -6, you can't swallow or be administered potions.
And my next action is to grab a little green cube that I have.
The green cube. Okay.
But I suppose that's next round, right?
Yes. Okay.
So she yells to me.
The Legion are locked in finishing off the enemy. The 3 worm priests are down, moments away from detonation. Avel.
You didn't tell me how many hit points I had.
Did you not hear that? I said 20.
Okay. So, can you tell me where the worm priests are?
They're lying on the floor in the small cave where you are,
They're about to go kablooey.
around here.
Okay. Can I cast a web around their bodies? Would that do anything?
It will not.
Right. Okay. Well,
Throw him off
I
the
run
edge.
out. Yeah, I could do that. Can I haul them both up, or maybe I can only carry one and throw him off the edge?
Yes, you grab hold of one, run him toward the edge, and he falls like a broken doll
Okay.
down into the storm below.
Yeah.
If I can take my action delayed, then I'll try and help her.
No,
Him.
your action's gone.
Okay.
Shanta,
Is that a movement or an action?
that's a move and an action.
Okay.
I tell Shanta to get her men to do the same.
Yeah, I was just about to say, my men are doing the same, and I hold my action to cast something once they've done that. Once the worm priests are out of the way, I'm going to cast web in the same place that Avel had cast it once the men are out of the way.
Nice.
And then if I can with my movement help Aldrich up to his feet to go over to where Bellis is.
Okay, you help him to his feet. There's a deep judder runs through the entire, cavern, bridge. Dust begins to fall from the ceiling. Avel, Shanta, and Jadarian, you each lose 2 points of constitution.
Oh, wow.
A strange, agonizing weakness rushes through you. Avel, for a moment, you think you can see the stones through your hand.
The hell?
Did you say 3 points?
2.
2. Jesus.
Does that affect our HP?
It also affects your HP as well, yes.
Oh, I have no idea how little I've gone down to now.
You actually lose 8.
Oh, great! I'm on 3 HP.
3 points.
But you
No,
got
it's off your max, Panda. Not
Off your
Panda.
because you got healed too. Yeah, so you're on 20.
Oh, okay, thank God.
Yeah, it's off your max hit points. It wouldn't be off your what you got now.
It is off what you have now.
Oh, really?
It's off both. But
Oh,
she was
wow.
healed up to max because of the
Yeah, I was up to max as well. So
Yeah. The rest of you see it as well. Avel, Shanta, Jadarian, for a moment, their entire form ripples, becomes indistinct. Another judder runs through the caverns around you. What the hell was that? Tarvo says. Avel, what's happening to you?
I
Jadarian.
wish I could tell you.
have I got any idea what's? Obviously, I move over to Bellis because Bellis has got something planned, and I'm trying to think what that could be.
Give me a d20 roll, please.
D20 roll.
Can I have one
13.
Yeah, go ahead, Bellis.
And who is it affected again?
too? 17 again.
Avel, Shanta, and Jadarian.
Right.
17?
Again, yeah.
Oh, okay.
All the wizards.
Yeah, but then Bellis is a wizard as well.
Jadarian, you're really not sure. But Bellis, pieces begin to fall together. And Zlashest confirms your suspicion. Temporal disturbance. He has gone through the storm.
He's going back into time.
Another quake ripples through the bridge. You can hear the sound of immense rocks, masonry falling.
What can we do? Is he still in the star, or is he now in Bone Mother Talora? I look at Slasest.
He took her.
So if we kill her, it is over.
Destroy the star. Destroy the body.
Yes. You want to help us with that and save your city? I
Is it
I
another-
show him the little cube. This is our way out of here.
He points.
what?
Down toward the storm.
Mm-hmm.
She has fled there.
Can we follow?
You may. I may not.
But will she be able to combat us as a dragon or only as Bone Mother Talora?
His mind. Her body.
Her spells? His spells.
His.
That's the problem. Okay.
Let's get out of here, Bellis.
What do we want to do? We follow her or we go away?
Take us. Can you, what are you? How do we get out of here? What are you using?
I got the cube
What is that?
and I press the...
There's another flood of weakness rushes through Aval, Shanta, and Jadarian. For a moment, Shanta is gone completely.
I
The
press
hell?
the button for the prime material plane. So somewhere else on this plane.
Mr. Starkhan, it feels so good.
Where on the plane?
Valandor in this case. This is the only thing I can think of right now.
Okay. As you activate it, Zlasha speaks again.
They will be unwritten.
Oh, unless we do something about it now. We need to follow her, we need to kill her, otherwise we're gonna lose everybody.
How do we follow her? Just go into
Fly
the
spells? Can we fly?
the wyverns.
Okay,
Take us to the wyverns.
okay, that's where I take us. To the wyverns.
Okay. Your control is commendable, Bellis. The gate opens a warp in front of you. You and your group step through to the landing field. Behind you, you can see part of the city walls have collapsed and fallen away. And behind that, one of the towers of the palace shakes and almost as if in slow motion falls, and when it's halfway down its arc, simply vanishes. You mount up.
Yeah, mount up and just dive into the chasm.
I cast a levitate spell on myself while on the back of Aldrich's steed.
It takes everything within your strength, Shanta, Aval, Jadarian, to strap yourselves in. As the wyverns go aloft, Shanta slumps in her saddle. You will lose another 2 points of constitution.
I was going to say, could I have possibly cast, when Bella said about casting Levitate, could I have cast Fly on Aldrich before, or would I have been too weak?
You're barely even able to manipulate the material components. It's as if you are a mirage fading in and out of existence.
And this is also
Something
happened to
about
Avel?
something about the history of the tieflings, the history of the elves, the history of Valandor, not Mordath. Valandor is being rewritten. Skyward, and then downward, toward the heart of the storm, the swirling black center of the maelstrom. The clouds roar around you. The wyverns fold their wings, and you drop. into the eternal tempest. Above you, a tremendous cracking noise. You look back over your shoulder, Bellis, and see a fissure down the middle of Damaresh as the city gives way and begins to plunge into the canyon. And then the storm envelops you completely. A darkness unspeakable in its intensity. The howling scream of the winds as you drop quite literally out of history and into whatever lies on the far side of the night of no stars. Good spot to leave it, I think.